You're now listening to episode 63 of Signed In, an Xbox 360 podcast, recorded on February 19th, 2011. Find us online at signedinpodcast.com. Hey folks, welcome back to Signed In. I am Jeremy Superfro33.
I'm Craig Croftdresser.
And I am Sean Shonix.
And here we are again.
That we are. Only a week later for you folks listening at home.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, you got the special weekly.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the good ones.
There's people out there that might be scared like me and stay away from Dead Space too. Although the private chat would be nice, then you won't have to, you can talk about the game like you played it. And like totally pimp it up.
Well, we do have all the scary sound effects that pop up at random intervals in there. So
you could use our private chats as like the Cliff Notes of like video games.
the Cliff Notes, yeah.
So if you want to like be cool with your friends, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, remember that part where this happened?"
Yeah.
You don't have any idea what happened. It's like the equivalent of watching the movie or the Cliff Notes. Yeah.
Until we do that private chat that just screws with everybody.
That's true. That's why we're gonna fuck those guys when we put out our ones that have the fake things that we talk
We're
about.
setting it up. Getting it rolling.
There we go.
Ball rolling.
So yeah, 3 shows in 3 weeks this will be.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Don't get used to it, folks.
Yeah. We're taking 5
we
weeks
don't
off.
like you that much.
We'll be back in August after this show with an 18-hour show. I think.
18-hour
Recapping. It'll actually be a replay. It's a rerun of Best of 2010. Hope you like that one.
How are you guys though?
Doing pretty good.
In the space of the last couple of weeks.
Not bad.
Good.
Really good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of games to talk about this week, I think.
Yeah.
We're making up some ground on our indie games that we've been down on the last couple of weeks.
There have been a lot of indie games for me, at least.
Yeah, I had some.
That's good.
Not much in the other departments, but...
Well, what else we got?
Got some quality games for XBLA, including stacking. And then disc-wise, all I've got is You Don't Know Jack.
Okay. Well, that's enough. That's awesome.
I've got a little You Don't Know Jack myself. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Nice.
I rented that one, tried it out. And Hardcore Rising.
Yes.
XBLA
I did try that. I did try the demo for that, yeah.
So
Uprising, I think.
Uprising. Yes.
It's all the same.
Uprising.
Hardcore Rising.
Hardcore Uprising.
I guess we're...
That's not good. Hardcore Rising is a much different thing.
Uprising.
XBLA demo-wise, I guess I do also have TNT Racers, so I got a few thoughts on that.
Cool.
Nice. And I got all those, and that's it, I think. I think I'm covering everything you guys got.
Awesome.
Sweet.
I'm the jack of all trades this show. I'll jump in on all your guys' conversations.
Oh, I see. You're
about-
just riding our coattails.
Just gonna hover.
Like usual.
And just like a vampire.
Be like,
You make Sean and I do all the work.
be like, that game's sounds pretty cool.
It's true.
I'm digging it.
Oh, yeah, I played that like 3 weeks ago. You're going to one-up us the entire time, right?
That is true. So how about some indie games?
Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to start it off here with something for all you Super Breakout fans. If you're looking for something a little bit different in the Super Breakout genre, check out Ion Ball in the indie game marketplace, because it's a Super Breakout style game, but given this sort of steampunk look to it. And so, it's the basic setup. You have a paddle at the bottom, and you're trying to bounce the ball into bricks up top, but there are also enemies who come down, and the enemies don't really attack you, but they mess up your shots because if the ball hits them, then it's going to go bouncing off in the wrong direction. And power-ups will drop down. There are good power-ups and negative power-ups. You can tell by the color that they are. And so, try to dodge the red power-ups. I think they're called mutagens or something like that.
Probably.
But this has a couple twists to it, in addition to the neat steampunk look to it, which is really, it's really high quality look. In addition to that, every round you gain experience points, and then you can spend those experience points between rounds on upgrades for things such as like an experience point multiplier, or increase the power of the damage that your ball does, or
that's awesome.
Increase the duration of your power ups, stuff like that. And then I'm guessing about every 5 levels, because they said there were 7 in 35 levels, but I'm guessing every 5 levels there's a boss, And in the demo, you get to play like 2 levels and then play one of the bosses. And so the boss that you face in the demo is this laser shooting turret that slides back and forth, and its lasers bounce. And so you're trying to bounce your ball at the thing while dodging the bouncing lasers at the same time. And it's a fun little experience and a neat twist. I don't think I've ever done a boss on a Super Breakout style game before.
No, not that I remember. Or I like the upgrading system too. I mean, that sounds awesome.
It is really cool. It is really, I mean, there's a lot of high quality polish to it as well. It's 240. If there was one criticism, it would have been neat if there was like some, not a story necessarily, but some semblance about like, why is this steampunk situation happening? You know, why am I battling these robots?
If you make it that stylized and if you include like bosses and things like that.
I want to just like a paragraph or something saying what's going on. Sense. You know, it's not a big deal, but
no.
But and like several things were locked, including the credits. So maybe there was something there, but it was just locked. I don't know. But definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the Breakout.
Cool.
I got a little college lacrosse 2011. This one was
this one's been racing up the charts.
Yeah, this one was a little heads up from a listener and forum guy, Spicoli Driver in Lunchbox 700. He's got 2 names like me. 4 names.
Yeah,
5 names.
Got like
I got
8.
A lot. But anyway, it's
aliases.
He gave me the heads up on it. It's 400 points. It's done by Carlo Cersei. Seriously, people with names that I can't pronounce.
Yeah, what are you doing living in other countries?
How dare you?
But it's a 2 to 4 player online, or you can have 2 to 4 local co-op, and it's totally lacrosse. But the production on it is awesome. It looks amazing. I thought. That's what I was really kind of blown away by. It is 400 points, but it really looked really good for just an indie game.
It's full 3D, right?
Yeah. I mean, and they did some good modeling on it. I mean, it's just like you're playing almost like a EA Sports type game. I'm not, for indie though.
Yeah, right.
But on a budget.
But still, really good graphics. The only problem I had with it is there wasn't like a training.
You don't know how to play lacrosse?
There you go. But there was like the training level was...
Were you just whipping balls at people's heads?
I don't even know if I was actually passing the ball at times. And that's where I kind of had a problem with it, because the training wasn't on, it was locked.
Oh, so there was training on there.
There was a training, but it was locked during the trial of
That's
it.
Too bad.
But I just thought, he pointed it out, I wanted to check it out. But it looked fantastic. The production value behind it was really cool.
I think they had a release last year too. They had a lacrosse for college lacrosse 2010. So it sounds like they're trying to make their little franchise, because that's great, because lacrosse is one of those sports that some people are kind of excited about, but certainly doesn't get any notice from like actual game companies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and in this country too, probably is another problem.
Yeah. Well,
so you're pretty limited on as far as
it's mostly a college sport.
Is it mostly like Ivy League, pinky up on the teacup type of type of sport?
I don't think it's only that. Because there's high school lacrosse teams too.
Yeah, I think it's
all
only
over
that.
the country.
You
just want to imagine them all wearing monocles while playing and top hats.
No, I want a highlight game. That's what I want.
But it's definitely worth checking out. I thought that was really 400 points. Just the look of it, the production, and the fact that it's 2 to 4 multiplayer. Online.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think that's really neat. It's up in the line. How much was that curling game back in?
I can't remember if it was 240. I think it was 240.
It was probably, that sounds about right.
I think it was $3.
So, I mean, that's multiplayer online for indies, awesome. So it's worth checking out. I just wish the training was open so I could know what I was doing.
Yeah, I do like as you say, it's like a $5 game. I do like that you can see sometimes the noticeable difference in some of those higher end games, as far as like, well, it's $5, but there's a reason why it's $5.
Yeah, I mean,
you can tie it to all these different
Iron
reasons.
Ball is $3, $2.40, but definitely they put a lot of work into it.
You can compare it to a $1 game and say, this should be more than $1.
Definitely.
So I like that you can. That says something good. So
yeah. Well, speaking of online, I've got Avatar Adventurers Online, which is trying to capture the magic of online role-playing games, where you insert your avatar, basically.
Really?
And actually, it just straight up, there was the professor running around in his little bow tie suit with his pompadour, and I'm like, that's awesome. And he's carrying around a sword, and then he got a shield, and so he had a sword and a shield, and he was running around beating up bees and fat chickens.
Nice.
And I mean, you can go shopping. You don't get to play any of the multiplayer on the demo, but it claims that it's open multiplayer, but you can also set up private parties as well, and go adventuring with friends. And so
really,
yeah. And there's a lot of text at the bottom.
I got to tell you, I avoid everything that says Avatar.
I know. I often do as well, but then I'm like, RPG? What? I'm like, that sounded kind of cool. Because that's a really neat way around character customization. You don't have to build in character customization. Yeah. Everyone can customize their own characters just by going to their avatar editor.
By who you are,
yeah. And so I thought that was really cool. There's a text box at the bottom that tells you like everything basically. Like if you make an attack and you miss, it'll tell you. If you make an attack and you do damage, the enemy attacks you and does damage. That's where people talk. And so it can sometimes be a little hard to follow what's going on at the bottom every once in a while because the text is a little bit small.
Okay.
And the only other real criticism it's not really a criticism, it was just an aesthetic thing that I noticed was that they created a large world, a big open area,
cool,
presumably for running around, and then you can see like somebody way across the field or whatever to, battling some monsters or whatever that you want to go help. And, but it's an indie game, so it's done on a budget, and so ends up being kind of sparse, and so a lot of it's just kind of running for a long time to get to some place because I'm not playing online, and so there's not a lot of things going on there, but seemed really impressive. And if you're looking for that sort of online RPG experience, that might be something to check out.
Well, I will take a look at it.
What's Avatar Adventures?
Avatar Adventurers Online.
We'll have it in the show notes, Sean.
But the show notes won't be out when I get home after we recorded this podcast.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm sorry I take so long.
But it
should be.
It was a neat battle system too, because you basically can lock on to a target using the right bumper button, and then your battle menu comes up, and you can choose attacks. You have like a time meter before you can do your next attack, and you can also run away from if it's attacking you, you can run away, but your attack meter doesn't fill up while you're moving. So lots of cool stuff going on in it.
Did you say how much it was?
I've forgotten how much it is. I'm gonna guess it's the 240 to 400, based on just the amount of stuff that's in there and the online capability.
Gotcha.
But it seemed really impressive. Cool. Seemed really cool, and I hope to see more of that sort of stuff coming up on the indie marketplace. Yeah. That would be really neat.
I played Rotor.
Rotor, is this the helicopter simulator or whatever?
Yeah, it's like a flying sim game, and it comes from Pocket Starship. It is 800
points.
It is
$10.
It is 8,000 points.
It is actually 2 games that you have to buy for 400 points.
It is a $400 game.
You have to get a new system to play this game.
It's an actual helicopter program. You have to previously own a helicopter.
You are remote piloting a helicopter.
Oh, Christ.
Over in Iraq.
It is an 80-point game. That is $1.
Yes.
And as Craig said, it's basically just a helicopter sim, flying sim. And you play like a little mini helicopter. It's kind of got like a third-person perspective, so you see the helicopter in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go into first-person perspective mode, which is fine because I don't need that.
Yeah.
But the city layout is all 3D.
Yeah.
It's this little tiny city area, and you can change the palette display, so the colors you can change them all, which to suit your best interest. I could just left it on the default, but there was a lot of options color-wise, which could help if you're flying around.
I remember they advertised that in the write-up at least.
Some of those might be a little harsh, too, because they're like yellow and purple or whatever on top. So, I mean, for your own eyesight, you might need to adjust it, but I like the gray one and the blue ones. But it's really well done. I have a problem flying helicopters a lot of times, so it seems like it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get
Remember
used
that
to.
when you took out that bus?
I do. Remember that? Well, that guy, to be fair to me, I was avoiding rocket launchers. So
in your head.
Let's not forget that aspect. Thanks, Craig. And I was protecting the president.
That's right.
So lay off.
Because you got it kidnapped by ninjas.
Here's the thing, though. As far as the controls, you just have to get it down and work with it, because you have the normal tilting and pitching, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a boost that you can use. There's a lowering yourself. There's a hover button that you can use. It uses all the buttons that are on. Well, not the buttons, I guess. It uses the sticks and the triggers and the bumpers. I don't think it was using the buttons at all.
Nice.
But it's really clean. It's really just nice looking, really smooth.
I like the screenshots.
Yeah, it looked really nice. And so what it is you fly around this area and you can do, I believe, 3-minute or 10-minute sessions. and there's little checkpoints that you can go to, and you hover around in it, and it activates that challenge.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's some of them are collecting orbs. So if you hover around there, it'll make all these orbs appear, and it's all score based. So you have a certain amount of time to get as many orbs as you can, and you increase your score. There's ones that are like a race, like a time trial that you go through hoops, and you have to go through a series of them and make it to
Superman
the end.
64.
Exactly. That's what this game basically is.
No, do you ever buzz any office buildings and hear someone go, Maverick?
No.
Damn.
Do not. That does not happen. And then there's a couple other challenge modes that you can do. I can't remember all of them right now. But, it's pretty simplistic, but it's a neat little sim. So I definitely recommend checking it out if you are into that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
It's going to take some practice to get the controls down because they are kind of tight.
Well, that's
which is good.
That's a flight simulator.
It needs to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did crash into a building and get stuck. But they do specifically on the controller have, if you hold the Y button, it'll reset you.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Poof you out of a building. Nice. So I think that can happen.
Yeah.
Because I tried to break it, honestly. I went up as high as I could and then hit my down button and just tried to crash into a building, and I went through it and was trapped inside. So.
And you killed 30 people.
Well, you know how I do.
In other words, you were slacking.
Exactly. It's a light day.
I want to talk about a little game called Defy Gravity, which is sort of a puzzle platformer in kind of the vein of, like Limbo or Braid or, those sort of platformers where you're trying to get to the endpoint while avoiding dangers. And this one is it looks really great. It's a space theme, and it's 80 points, I should have mentioned. And the gimmick for it is that you have this gravity gun, and this gravity gun can shoot gravity wells and anti-gravity wells. And so you shoot them out and they kind of burst, and then there's this little circle there. And so gravity wells are going to pull you closer to them, and might catch you in the middle of it, and anti-gravity wells are going to push you away, and you have a rocket pack. And so what's really cool about it, though, is that you deploy the gravity wells and anti-gravity wells by letting go of the trigger. So the right trigger fires for gravity wells, left trigger fires for anti-gravity wells. You hold the left trigger down, or you hold the trigger down until you want it to deploy, and then you let go, and it poof, there it is. So you can do something like if you have to do like this super high jump or whatever, you can shoot like an anti-gravity well like 5 feet in front of you, and then shoot like a gravity well way up by the jump itself, and so then you can jump rocket pack to the anti-gravity well, it pushes you up, rocket pack again, and then the gravity well grabs you and pulls you up to the top, and then you can because you can also turn off the wells with the shoulder buttons, and so it's a jumping puzzle mechanic.
I was gonna say, it's almost like a puzzle game at that point.
It definitely is. I mean, that's there are enemies, quote unquote enemies, but they're the kind of run into you die sort of enemy.
They're just obstacles.
They're obstacles, and you can jump on top of some of them, not on others. And anything that's gold enemies or things like platforms can be affected by your gravity wells as well. You also have like this gravity shield, which nullifies any effect of gravity wells. And there are challenges like I think the second or the third level in the demo that I played, your gravity well was, or your gravity shield was stuck on, and so you had like to use your gravity gun to propel this platform through this area of lasers and things like that. And so, cool. Yeah, it was really, really cool. It's I'm going to pick it up. It's only 80 points, and there's a lot of fun to be had in just kind of cleverly coming up with those sorts of doodads in order to get from point A to point B.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very nice and
fun.
And well done. I was kind of surprised. I was thinking that it was one of those games where I'm like, this might be, because I couldn't remember the price. This might be 80 points. This might be 240 points. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Very nice.
I got a puzzler, Ninja 360.
Is that a puzzler?
It is.
I didn't know that.
It is a puzzler. Well, I think it's a puzzler.
No, it could be.
I
didn't play it.
Exactly.
Let's let him talk about the game
Let's wait
first.
for him to talk about it.
Just because he couldn't figure it out might make it a puzzler.
Exactly. It's 80 points.
They locked the tutorial.
He was puzzled.
Yeah, it was from
kidding you.
Do Rai Games, or Ray. That's probably Ray, actually.
Do Re Mi?
Do Ray Games.
Was that the challenging part? The puzzling part?
But I get a very lazy Raiders vibe from it, even though I'm not using the bumpers to turn. You're like a little ninja, hence the Ninja 360, and you're on this wheel. There's the other part of the 360. And you're in the middle part, like this middle part, and it either is round or it's shaped or it's square. And what you do, you're in that middle, and you can cause the wheel to move or go in a circle. And you just by going left or right, and then there's jump, and you want to get these certain coins, and there's a certain amount of coins throughout, blah, blah, blah. But there's parts where it'd be like an L section in the middle instead of a round. So then you got to kind of climb the walls and use the walls to jump up. And then there's this like another, I forgot which button. I think it's the Y button, which causes you to float almost like a little parachute. So then you can get these ones that are out further, because if you fall, you're dead, because it's all spikes everywhere else around you. But I really like the mechanic to it. I thought it was really fun. There's like a training mode to it, a technique mode, which kind of shows you how to do some of the levels, like gives you examples on how to place through some of them, which I thought was really neat. And then you just the better you do at certain levels, time wise, or getting the coins in a certain amount of time. The better you do, it unlocks more down the road. I wasn't able to unlock some of them yet, but I got a kick out of it. Like the style. It's kind of almost like got the cell shading look to it. I almost wish it was a little bit closer, but the amount of room for these puzzles, it might get bigger as they go on, because you're in the middle of this circle and it just seems like there's a lot of extra area. But that just means I think down the road they're just going to open it up and you're going to be doing a lot more jumping. Yeah, it's a really neat game. It was more or less the cover kind of like grabbed my eye, but playing it, I really like the look. I like the feel. You could actually also change the background, because I actually changed it to my gamer pick. Was the background?
The background? Wow.
The background went black, and the thing I was jumping on was my gamer pick. Weird. Which I thought was really neat.
That's cool, though.
There's some neat aspects to the game. Also, even at the menu screen, you can change the background of the. It's got a very Asian theme to it. But it was really cool. I mean, 80 points. I'll probably end up purchasing just because I was having fun with the style and.
That's great.
And it looked fun there. I think there was like 99 levels.
Yeah,
and
because it's quite a bit.
And then with all the other, there's some other things involved. I didn't even get that far into it, because like the tutorial was cool and that technique style was cool. But
awesome,
yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and for 80 points, so
that's cool. I should check that out. That sounds a lot better than my original idea for Ninja 360, actually.
Which was?
I was going to make a game where you start up and it's a black screen, and then you press the A button, and a ninja jumps out and he's like, "I'm on your 360."
I bet that's already been done. I've seen some games on the indie marketplace that might just be that.
It's just a ninja just doing like a spin.
Whee! Poof!
What do you call those? Pirouette? I don't know.
Pirouette.
That's it.
I took dance
Luckily,
classes.
You're with us ballet dancers.
I did not take about ballet.
What?
You guys totally did.
I know. I took jazz and modern. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Christ. I was just joking. And now I'm a little saddened that Craig wasn't. I'm going to go with my game. He sure is. NYAN-TECH is a game I checked out. And it comes from...
How do you spell that first part?
NYAN.
Oh, okay.
I might be saying it incorrectly.
I don't know how you would say that. That's why I wanted to know the spelling.
Maybe less time in dance classes and more time in Japanese. If that's what this is, I don't even know.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I thought you said Mayan-TECH at first, so I thought it was like a Mayan
NYAN-TECH.
I thought you were just mispronouncing the word nine.
I'm not Sean over here.
Oh, wow! You got backlash on that one. I was
shrapnel everywhere. I'm just throwing out.
Maybe it's a no on tech.
Scatter bombs. That's all
the insult ninja over here.
I go for
insult ninja.
That is an awesome new show.
Insult ninja.
He just pops out of a bush at like a bus stop. Sean's wrecked.
I can see it. That's
that'd be awesome.
Hilarious.
He pops out of a bush.
Got a fat butt.
He pops out of a bush, and then he has to pull down the mask thing, in front of his mouth, so he can say. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That guy's awesome. And then like throwing stars, but he throws them and they got like insults written on them. So
they're actually paper stars, like you used to make in school.
You just throw them and then
you have to unwrap them.
Young Rabbit, you suck.
Oh, you're really fat. That's not. Damn it! Insult ninja. All right. Now let's talk about this real game.
Okay, sounds good.
NYAN-TECH. And it comes from Dotzo Games, who you may remember from Ninja Bros, which we've talked about before on the show.
Ninja Bros before Ninja Hose.
A couple other games. They've done a couple of games.
Yes.
This is another 80-point game. And it would be a puzzler in the theme of what we've been talking about with some of those action-adventure puzzlers.
A lot of good puzzlers coming out.
Which is basically getting from point A to point B and not dying in the process.
Right.
So it's one of those where you got to collect a key, get to a door. And there's spikes everywhere and moving platforms and things like that. And it's all done in that old 8-bit style.
Right.
Like those really pixelated look that they did with their other games as well. Awesome soundtrack. Still like that same chiptune sounding soundtrack. I really like the elements of this gameplay though, because they add in the use of button. You need to use buttons to maneuver around the little maps or the little puzzle area, and so there'll be doorways that are like there, and if you hit the button that's the color of the doorway, or they all have the letters as well. So if, like, for instance, you'll have Y and it'll be this yellow door, and it's got Y's all over it. If you hit Y, it'll turn it off. And so there's other platforms that'll appear if you hold other buttons. Now there's some that you can turn on and off permanently, and there's some that you have to keep held down to have them appear. So now I'm running and jumping and holding down like the X button,
right?
You know, because you got to hold down so the platform appears.
Yeah.
And then you've got to like undo it. It almost gets a little Prince of Persia when we talked about the times or the Forgotten Sands or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You got to do all these things.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get ramped up quite a bit towards, you know, as you go along.
That kind of reminds me of Ninja Brothers, where you had different guys controlled by different buttons. And so you kind of had to manage all that at the same time.
And now what they do add in with this one is a time limit, quote unquote. How it works though is it's by step count. So anytime you're moving your character, even when you jump, so like if you're in air, it's counting down a timer. But if you stand still, it doesn't count the timer down.
That's that whole Elo Milo thing that I liked about a puzzler that is not so tense about gotta keep moving, you know? Yeah. I like that.
So you can think about it, and I like that, because first when I saw the timer, I was like, oh no. Because when you go through the tutorial, they give you, there's one of the tutorials they give you is these little tokens that you can pick up that increase your time. So some stages are going to have those as well. And when I went through it the first time, I died because I ran out of time, and I'm like, oh man, this time thing is going to, and that was the first time I was aware that there was a time limit. I'm like, this time limit's going to be a problem. And then later on I realized, oh, it's not really counting down time, it's just by my steps, like when I'm in motion. So you can actually take time and stand there and evaluate the room and break it down from there. But like I was talking before with the buttons that you have to press to activate certain parts of the room or to take down walls, they also throw in the bumper buttons and the trigger buttons. Yeah. So they're using all of the buttons available, which is quite a bit. Right. So I imagine some of those stages are going to be ridiculous.
That sounds crazy.
But it was cute, and it was a lot of fun, and you know, simplistic, but like a fun puzzler. Right. And I don't know how many levels there were, but it's an 80 point, so
excellent.
Can't go wrong.
Excellent. I checked out Zombie Football Carnage. I was originally attracted to it by the screenshots, which definitely sport some behemoth-like graphics, you know, Castle Crashers type graphics.
I played this. We both played it, I think, didn't we?
I played it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so we all played it.
Yeah. The only criticism that I would throw out right off the bat is just having something where you can find out what the controls are and how to do things, because you know, it doesn't tell you that, and so you're just thrown right in there, and then there are monsters swarming on you. So basically you're this football player who's fighting monsters, and that's basically it, right? And so
is the football guy a zombie?
I don't know.
I don't understand the zombie inclusion.
It's not that important.
I think he's a zombie and the rest are all monsters.
I think so. But anyway, so what I ended up doing was I was just smashing A all the time, so I was just dashing. And I'm like, I don't even think I'm killing anything because the dash is not to kill things, it's to get away. Yeah, and then eventually I worked my way around to the X button and started throwing footballs at them. And so,
son of a bitch.
Basically, that's what you do.
Did you not throw footballs?
No.
You press... I
was button mashing that son of a bitch too, and all I got was dash out of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's the X button. Well,
I hit it.
Yeah, and so you throw football.
Awesome.
You throw footballs, and so you're trying to avoid everybody. I think it's multiplayer. Is that right?
I don't remember.
More than one player.
If it's.
I don't know. I felt like there were so many swarms.
I thought it was just one player.
Okay, it could just be one player. It just felt like, oh, this would be great if there were more than one player.
It's really brutal.
It is brutal.
And I think the reason for that is, and you're probably going to get to that, is that you can upgrade.
You can, yes.
In the game. So I think that becomes apparent at the beginning that that's a very important process in this game.
And you can continue your game, right?
So you collect money. When you kill the enemies, you get money and badges and things like that are worth money.
They also drop weapons sometimes.
They drop secondary weapons.
Go to the Y and the B.
Which is awesome, and health sometimes.
Yes,
but
which is necessary.
the money you use in between deaths, basically, to increase any of your abilities.
Right.
You can increase your health, your armor, the effectiveness of your other weapons,
throwing the football,
and things like that.
Yeah,
and that becomes apparent really quick that you're going to need that stuff. So I imagine that gets a lot, works towards it. But at the beginning, it's brutal.
It is very brutal. But you can actually hold your own pretty well if you know what you're doing.
If you know how to throw a football.
Going in there, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Sean, I was in the same boat there for the longest time.
It is really lacking the tutorial at the beginning, which...
Well, not even a tutorial. I was looking for like a control screen, and there wasn't even that. Maybe it was a locked feature.
Maybe in the options, if you went in... Did you try
I looked, because I was looking everywhere. I was looking everywhere I could.
Okay.
So what I found out was when they were showing up the little tips when the game was loading, how it throws up the tips and whatever, and one of them came around with throw your, if you press X again after you kill somebody, you can get a combo, and I'm like, X, okay.
Yeah, see, I was spamming X, and I didn't know that in how that worked, because you can throw the X and it throws the football and it hits an enemy.
Yeah.
But and I was just spamming it, so I wasn't really paying attention. But after I saw that tip, I was.
Yeah.
And if you hit X again, it chains, so it hits the enemy and then it bounces off to another guy next to him, so it'll kind of ricochet.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
I liked the game. It was a pretty neat little game.
I think the animation style is fantastic.
I thought the style looked really.
I
liked it a lot.
The monsters were cool.
Yep.
And I'm glad you said the behemoth thing, because that's what it felt like to me. They felt like the enemies in Castle Crashers.
Well, I saw those dead little druid guys with the knives poking out.
Yep.
I'm like, that looks kind of familiar.
But it's really high quality.
I'm not saying it's a ripoff, but it's in a similar vein to that.
And really high quality.
Yeah,
the animation style is just really awesome, I think.
Yeah. And so basically you're just stuck in this little room area, and you go through 4 quarters for that match. And so you have to survive that 4 rounds or whatever. I don't know what happens after that, because I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, the first one, I just ran all the way to the other side of the screen. And I was like, this isn't...
That's what I was doing.
This isn't the way you play,
Am I charging through them?
Yes.
Bam. Am I hitting? I don't think I'm killing them.
Who do I pass to?
I'm like...
I haven't erased it
Am I
yet,
playing football?
So, cool. I haven't erased it yet. I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
80
give
points.
it a college try.
I think with that knowledge going in, it becomes a very different game, because I was very frustrated with it at first. And then I figured out the X button, and I'm like, oh, this is just challenging now.
And it's Milkstone Studios is who did it.
Yes.
And they did a couple other games that we've talked about in the past as well. A couple racing games and some Avatar games. A couple of different things.
Yeah,
so it's a nice change up for them, too.
And it's got in-game awards with a stat tracker as well.
I love those popping up while I was playing.
Yeah, so as I was knocking enemies down with a football, it was like, popping up, you've done 100 of your 500.
You probably didn't see that one, Sean.
I would have had to throw the football. I was able to put up a shield at one point. That was pretty cool.
They picked How did you pick that up?
I picked it up. I killed someone. I ran someone over, and that's what I thought. I kept spamming the charge, because I don't think that.
From what I understand, the running is just to get you away, and you take less damage as you
Maybe
do.
He might have.
You might have spammed accidentally.
Yeah, if you were bashing the mutton, I can't.
I was eating my mutton.
You were bashing the mutton.
I was bashing my mutton.
Wow, that's a euphemism.
I hate my life.
And maybe they were so close that you didn't see anything happen. They just kind of exploded in front of you.
That's probably what happened, and then I picked up the
And
shield.
then when you run over the secondary things, they pop up underneath your health bar, and they have a button tied to them, so you see the yellow and the red.
Yep.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, and you can hold on to 2 of them at a time.
Yeah,
which is also nice.
Cool. I haven't erased it yet, but I'm definitely going to check it back out
fun
again.
Game.
Yeah,
I
love the style. I thought it looked. I thought it
enjoyed
looked cool. For what, 80 points though?
Yeah,
it's only 80.
It looked amazing.
Awesome.
So, speaking of looking amazing,
enough about me.
Baby Maker Extreme 2.
God.
I did talk about the first one on the show a long time ago. This is 80 points. It's done by Stegosaurus Games. This one has a little high polish to it. Almost makes everything look wet.
I don't like that.
Exactly.
Everything.
So
technically they should.
You meant literally. They polished everything.
I mean, everything looks really rounded and very shiny.
They used all that Baby Maker Extreme money. Funneled it into 2.
Or the placenta, one of the 2.
Oh.
But, I said it.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, it's the menus were even the menus was an egg with a sperm, and that's how you picked what. It They went extreme.
They went for it.
They went for it on the
extreme.
second one. The first one was extreme, but this one is extreme, I think. But yeah, it's 80 points if you want to do it. I didn't get that far like I did with the other one. I was having a lot of fun, getting my baby out there, but this one, it almost took away from it. It seemed like it was a little bit on the harder. And there was a dive and a rise button. I don't remember those in the first one, but I should check my old notes because that would.
Oh, to like arch.
Yeah, and so you could rise or you could.
You could adjust. You could adjust it a little
dive
bit.
really hard if
Oh, because you bounce off of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and it's the stuff that are highlighted. So there's a lot more stuff in the game, but it's only the highlighted stuff you want to hit, like the first one. So, you probably already have checked it out, but it looks.
I did.
Of course,
it just looks gross. It looks gross. But
does it make squishy noises?
It's those bar games I always like to have fun and play. So it's like the whack-a-monkey. So I don't know. I just had to point it out. Baby Maker Extreme.
Well, thank you. I
2.
appreciate it.
You had to.
I had to.
You were compelled.
Inquiring minds wanna
Listener can't
know.
see it, but I'm holding a gun to his head right
Yes.
now. Actually,
All right. Well, I played some Battle High San Bruno.
yes.
Comes from Matthew DeLucas. It is 80 points. And it is one of those rare fighters on the indie arcade.
Right, it's an old school side, 2D fighter.
Yep.
Okay, I have played this game.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the name of I played it and then I raced it. Yep.
What?
Yeah, I know. Never mind.
All right. So, I mean, it works like an old school Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Whatever those King of Fighters games that
Yeah,
were. But I think it's really well done.
I think so, too.
I mean, it's really basic. I mean, but it is only a $1 game. But I found the controls to be really responsive. It's a little limited in the number of moves you can do, but I thought everything was laid out really well.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem pulling off any of the moves. I don't know how character balance is. There are 8 characters you can play through. I don't really know what the story is. Is there a story going on with it?
I was playing as the fat nerd kid with
So
the
was
cape.
I. That's the way you go,
Yeah,
man.
who screams at people for his special move and throws trading cards at them. Awesome. Yeah. So did you play through the campaign a little bit?
Yeah, I played
The arcade.
I played a couple rounds.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a story, although there
didn't
were
seem like
characters.
it. Yeah.
Basically, it looked like there's more of characters rather than just story.
Right.
Which kind of that follows the same lines as Street Fighter, where you have the nice ending where all of a sudden there's all this information piled on. Oh,
Yeah.
that's why she was fighting.
And he's walking into the sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
The characters do seem varied. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got, I think, an elemental theme because I think the fat nerd guy was air, hence his screaming or whatever, and because everyone's got little symbols down for their power meter for their super move or whatever. And there's like the dude with his robot arm, and he was like trying to zap me, and an ice girl. And that's about as far as I got before the timer went out. But I'm not good at fighting games, and so
I'm not either. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a hindrance for me. But if I knew if I was more into fighting games, 80 points, I would have picked that up.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, when we talked about Choose Dynasty
Yes.
for the Winter Uprising.
Yes.
That was when we were talking about then, that saying that there's not a lot of fighters
There's
on
not,
the indie.
no.
In fact, hardly any
No.
that I can think of other than that one.
I remember playing one.
I've played. There was one I played and it was just horrible.
Okay.
And I didn't even talk about it. I didn't talk about it on the show. I should have brought that one up. If I can bring a Baby Maker Extreme, I should have talked about the horrible.
I played
fight.
some Fatal Fury type thing, and so I was having trouble with it.
So, I mean, it's nice to see one that at least, does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really well done. I would check it out. I mean, it's simplistic. It's not like what you're going to find with Marvel
But it's
versus
80
Capcom
points.
3, but
Yeah.
it's 80 points.
Exactly.
So check it out.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. And of course, the thing that I was most excited about in the past 2 weeks just came out recently, actually. Hot tip here.
Yeah, like yesterday, I think.
That's something like that. So, what's got one shell, one headband, and a rainbow bridge? Hurdle Turtle Track Pack number 1.
Hell yeah.
Coming back from Homemade Games, makers of Pixel World and the original Hurdle Turtle.
Yeah.
And so it's more of the Hurdle Turtle goodness that we love so much on the show.
3 new tracks.
Three new tracks. The new Pirate Turtle. The Pirate Turtle went out. Sorry. No Derple Turtle.
I know. I wanted Derple Turtle so hard.
I know. You campaigned for a minute.
I didn't campaign. In fact, I forgot to even mention it on the show, and I wanted.
I thought you did mention it on the show.
I
it must have been.
We talked about it afterwards,
pre-show or
and I
post-show,
said,
yeah.
"Damn it! I forgot to talk about Derple Turtle."
That must have been it. Anyway,
Because what Homemade Games was doing was like a contest,
Yes,
like a voting
contest,
and
yeah.
you could vote on who you wanted in the game. And Derple Turtle is who I wanted because he was all tarted looking. And he was awesome looking with his tongue hanging out.
Yes, definitely.
But we got Pirate.
Yes.
Pirate Turtle.
That works.
And with 3 new tracks from Octopus, who did the music for the first Hurdle Turtle. I forgot the name of the game there for a moment, even though I've mentioned it like 8 times in the show already. And so, yeah, I mean, there's nothing new being added, but there's still a lot of fun. I just love, popping that on for like 2 minutes before I die.
Yeah, it's just something new. I mean, it's new scenery to look at, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, it's the same gameplay.
Yeah,
you're just racing. You're moving, side scrolling with the turtle and avoiding obstacles and jumping over obstacles. Yeah. And it speeds up after a certain amount of time. It's just seeing how long you can go.
That insane track on the Rainbow Bridge, man.
I haven't got to that yet.
That is freaking nuts. I got to a point where I was jumping over 2 hurdles at a time.
Because it was going so fast.
Yeah, it was going so fast. I was also dead most of the time while I was doing that.
That's awesome.
Most of the time I was blinking.
Yes.
That's where I got most of my distance.
You're still invisible.
Yes, exactly.
So check, I mean, like we said,
80 points,
it's pretty much the same thing. It's an update.
It's called Track Pack #1. It's not actually an edition, so you don't need to buy the first Hurdle Turtle to play this one because they can't do that on indie games. And so it's a separate game on its own. If you just want to check this one out, feel free to do that. But I would recommend also, if you like it, checking out the first Hurdle Turtle too, because it's the same thing.
And they're awesome.
Yes, very cool. Is that it?
I'm tapped out on indie.
That's me.
It for me.
Sweet.
There's a lot of indie games.
That was a lot of indie games.
Yeah.
Good job, gents.
We didn't cross over that much.
Hand spank. Thank you, Sean.
You got your gloves on. They muffle the hand spank.
They did.
Wait, gloves muffle things?
Wow.
How about some XBLA?
On that note,
Let's move on. Who wants to start XBLA?
That sounds good. Let me start off here with TNT Racers. And so TNT Racers is a kart racing game, sort of in the style of like Mario Kart, because you can go around and you pick up power-ups. But this one is a little bit different. At first, I was reminded visually of Things on Wheels, which came out this past summer. And
I think that's initially why I didn't check this game out.
That is why I didn't check it out.
I think you guys should check it out. You might not like it, but it's definitely not Things on Wheels.
Good.
Well, I played a lot of Things on Wheels.
No, I know you did.
Is that what happened to you?
No, I just, there's sometimes when games come out, I'm like, you're not one of those type of things. You know?
Sure, yeah. That's, and so they are kart races, and you do pick up power-ups and you fire at each other. The tracks are really cool. The few tracks that I got to see were these lush there was like the savannah one with like ostriches running alongside the tracks, and then there was a more like jungle ruins track as well, which had a jump over a lower track and things like that. But the weapons are kind of fun. They've got oil slicks, they got mines, of course, and a gun that shoots forward. They've had this zapper that stops things, kind of short circuits them for a little bit. But one of my favorite ones was a crossbow that shoots a weight onto the back of a car. So you shoot it on a car in front of you, and it weighs them down and slows them down.
Nice.
And then there was also one that creates this smoke screen and covers the back of half of the screen, so anybody behind you can't really see what they're doing. And so that aspect was really kind of fun for it. And the races seem very challenge oriented. When you go through the tutorial, you go through 3 races, and each one is a little bit different. But one of the main features is sort of this knockout thing, where instead of trying to win like laps and win a race time, what you're trying to do is get so far ahead of people or knock them down or blow them up so that they fall off the screen. And once they fall off the screen, they're out of the race.
Nice.
And so then, the last person on the screen sort of wins. That's one version. There was another version which was basically knockout, but when people got knocked out, they came back in a short time as shadow racers, which didn't allow them to win, but allowed them to pick up power-ups and to basically fuck with the people who are left in the race.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was
really
great. Cool. That was really cool.
Smart.
Yeah, and sometimes the power-ups were all non-damaging. They were just things that would mess you up, like oil slicks and the smoke screen and the zapper or whatever.
I love that whole revenge aspect of that.
Yeah.
It's really pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there's also, there are different ways that you can win. So like I said, it's usually not lap based. Usually, sometimes it's being the last person on screen, and then you get points for being the last person, depending on when you were knocked out. And so then you have to get to like 10 points to win. And so you keep running races till somebody gets to 10 points. There was another one where it was just kind of point collection, and you got points for using power-ups, for making jumps, for knocking opponents out and making laps, and basically doing little things while running around. And yeah, I like the fact that it was more challenge-oriented rather than just a race, because really with those kart racers, half of it is just battling each other.
Right.
And so this seems to really take the focus and put it on that sort of combat that you're having with your friends, or whoever you're playing against. And it's not so much, I mean, you do need to keep up in the race because you can't get knocked back, but because that was also nice because it avoids the inevitable thing that always happens to me in a kart race at some point, where I'm so far behind I can't even see anybody, and it's like, why am I still going around this track?
Yeah.
And so it kind of takes the middleman out of there for you and says, okay, well, now you're not. And sometimes you're in there to just fuck with people.
Right.
Instead.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
really
like
neat.
that aspect of it. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It was 800 points, if I remember correctly. It was not as pricey as some of the other XBLA games, and definitely it's not things on wheels. I would recommend checking it out.
I will take a look at it.
You should.
How about that?
Okay, thanks. I feel
You'll
better now.
download it.
Oh, there it is.
Man, I'm hardcore.
What a
Insult
dick.
Ninja.
Insult Ninja. He did. He just popped up and then left.
Insult Ninja just struck.
That guy is a dick.
I should get like a sword slashing sound effect for that.
That'd be awesome.
All future Insult Ninja appearances.
How about some hardcore Uprising?
Hardcore Uprising, 1,200 points.
Yeah.
Yes. Konami did it because
is.
if you've played Contra, you've played this game.
It's like a prequel, right?
Yeah, it's a prequel.
based?
Yep, to Contra Hardcore. But yeah, it's everything I love and hate about Contra. Everything.
But there's more to love, I think, this time around.
This one has there's a really nice aspect to it. I really like after I played it. The arcade mode is brutal. It's hard.
Yeah.
It sucks. But the rising mode is awesome because you can level up. You earn points through each level. The better you do, the more points you get. Blah blah blah. But you can build up health slots. You can build up.
I love this.
Yeah.
Extra what is it? Extra lives. So then you're
start with more, right?
Yeah. You start with two like health slots, and you can build that up. Lives too, so you can build that up. You can also build up your weapons to like level 2, level 3. So when you grab those icons, you're already at that.
Yeah.
Because as you pick up new levels, of course, they keep leveling up until you get hit eventually.
Yeah.
What I really like too, because I never played the Contra Hardcore, and I don't know if this was the same thing, but you can change your weapons by hitting the Y button. So you can have two different, like you get spread shot and a machine comes up and you're like, oh,
I love that.
So you can switch out to a spot. What I always did too is it's a nice place to keep a loaded up weapon. And then when you get into like a shitstorm that happens eventually, which always does, you can switch out and then you can just use your regular gun.
So you don't lose it.
Yep, so you don't lose it. Because as you get on, you can buy that upgrade, which makes your regular shot, your rapid fire, even more.
Nice.
So the rising aspect, I played through that game. I've gone to the last guy so many different times. I have yet to beat the last guy.
Wow.
He is a bitch. It's like 3 levels of kicking my ass.
But
because the very last level is I've got some recorded stuff on my phone of some of the levels, but I am going to record some of the last boss and kind of I'll get that video out.
Nice.
But
yeah, get that shit on YouTube.
it is yeah.
See, I love
It's fucking stupid.
Okay,
actually.
but
I love the game.
So in the Uprising
and hate
aspect,
it.
and that's through Uprising that you're playing, right?
Yes, yeah.
So you're leveling up and you're getting more points because it works on like an experience points basis where you get points and you can spend those on abilities, which sounds awesome to me.
It is
love
awesome.
that idea.
And there's a lot.
I think I'm going to buy this game.
There's a lot of add-ons. There's a lot of abilities. But yeah, the more and more you play through it. But the thing about it.
So my question is though, when you're getting to that guy, so you're dying, but you're still getting more and more points, so you can buy more stuff.
Yeah.
So every time you're going through, you're getting better and better and better, or are you maxed out?
I'm not even maxed out yet.
Some of that stuff looked really expensive.
A lot of it is expensive, but the thing about it is, and what I've been doing is just going through the very beginning of the game and playing through. And that can be a little time consuming, but sometimes once you get to that point where you're so maxed out, some of the levels become really quick. and then you can bust through them really fast. And it's just towards the later levels because it goes from like a side-scrolling like platformer type jobby to you're riding this like surfboard thing, and it becomes into a shooter. And
what I didn't like,
and
when I've only played the demo so far,
with the motorcycle,
and I didn't like that aspect
because it was really hard to shoot things
because you had to shoot back, and that also made you move back,
right?
And so I understand the difficulty curve on that.
That's supposed to be that way,
but I didn't like it.
Yeah,
and that was probably the one of the douchiest like levels is fighting that thing because you had to fight it a couple times. Spoiler, I don't care, but that's not the only time. Like the motorcycle, there's a couple other motorcycle levels, but then all of a sudden you get on this like surfboard thing. And then there's the other down the road where there's nothing to be on. You're having to jump from platform to platform to platform to platform while fighting the main guy.
Oh wow.
Awesome. Yeah, but that's the thing I love and hate about this game. Right. I thought I really like the customizing your guy. Right off the bat, you can just change the colors on the fly, which is just a small little aspect, but I think it's awesome. You only start as the 2 characters. I haven't seen the other 2 characters.
Other downloadable content.
See, that's a little odd.
Is it? Yeah. See, that's DLC. What I was wondering.
Because they're available now. Yeah.
See, and that's what I was wondering because they show them the whole anime style movie to the beginning.
Was ridiculous.
I liked it a lot.
It was intense. I
don't like it.
I liked things about it. I hate the look of the privates, the enemies.
Oh yeah,
the weird clown face
with
things,
smiley face.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell is that?
I know.
But I like how the behemoth guy or whatever, Betmoth or whatever the main guy, he was like totally ripped off his emblem because he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
and I like that. I like that there was no dialogue to that. And I'm I'm so glad that it wasn't so anime like heavy like. But I dug the intro to it. I'm having having a lot of fun with the game. It's a game I can see myself continuously playing through. And of course, like one of the achievements is buying everything in the shop.
See, that's what I was going to say. Is that I think that Uprising aspect really adds a ton to the replayability because there's no penalty for replaying. You almost want to and have to get more points to spend in the thing. So it's like an infinite, reusable source at that point. Like playing those earlier levels and things like that.
Yep.
And there's probably an increased bonus of going back through them and just tearing ass through everybody.
Yeah. And because that's fun. You could either do that or you probably get more points by because there's on-off switches for a lot of your stuff too that you upgrade. So I'm assuming you could turn those off to get more experience points.
Gotcha.
And so you can play with it a little bit more.
And you can play with a second player online, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the co-op thing is really like
that might help out some.
That's sinking into me too. Like I think I'm going to buy this game.
Cool.
Like I've only played the demo. And we've talked before at length with my issue with buying more XBLA games when I have so many things unfinished.
Sure.
Especially a $15 game. But I played it and I was like, oh, it's just going to be another Contra game.
Yeah.
It's going to be that style.
Yeah.
I really, really like the almost cartoon look to it, though.
Yeah.
It's really smooth.
It's very...
I love that.
It's got a very Shadow Complex kind of feel to it, in my opinion. And it's really...
It's like playing a cartoon.
Yeah, and and there's some levels, some of the villains, some of the bosses. Like I said, I got to I'm assuming it's the last boss because there's 3 stages to them. And I don't know any final boss that doesn't have 3 stages to them, where the rest of the bosses didn't have 3 stages.
You're gonna finish, and it's gonna be like you completed the first chapter.
Exactly.
So I saw it, and I was playing through, and I'm like, well, this is actually kind of fun. And then I looked into the Uprising aspect of it, and the whole almost RPG thing of like increasing your abilities, and I'm like, wow, I really could sink some time into this, and I almost want to play it.
Yeah.
And the co-op aspect and being able to play through with other people, I think that I'm going to probably end up splurging on it.
It's pretty cool.
Ew.
There's like 7 pages in
Take
the
that
shop.
whatever way you want.
But I had a lot of fun with it.
Your TV like
I was very annoyed and aggravated with it, but the fact that when I died I kept playing and didn't stop, that sold me.
Right.
So
you just got back
you're a
up
ghost,
and did it
is that
again.
what you're saying? You're a ghost?
Yes.
When you died while playing it,
Yes.
but your body just kept doing it.
Yep.
And let me just say, as a player of
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
NES Contra, aren't they all? I'll just do my own sound effect now, just so you know.
That was a blow dart from the bush.
As an old NES, and old, I mean I'm old, Contra NES player.
Oh, yeah.
I am super happy with what they did with the laser with this game.
Oh, the tracking
You'd
laser.
always get stuck with the laser in old NES game, and you'd be like, shit, I got the laser.
That laser is fantastic.
And now it's got like a homing thing on it where it doesn't just shoot forward.
Plus, it ricochets into other things.
It goes at any villain,
so
anywhere.
it'll curve or not curve, but it'll bend and go to like
bounces,
something
like
else.
ricochets.
Yeah, you're not curving the bullet here.
That's true.
But I mean, like,
but like I was in like old NES game, and you would accidentally get the laser and like ruin your spread shot, and you'd be like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't because I was probably like 12 at the time, so I don't want to.
Yeah,
I probably was.
Yeah,
you were doing that.
And then you looked around after you said it because you're like, "Oh shit, I'm at home."
So yeah, you'd ruin your spread shot, your awesome spread shot. We'd get a stupid laser.
Yep. But the fact that you can switch out, and I didn't go through any of the tutorials or look at any of the button control, and when I found out, when I got to like level 5. And figured out it was like level 2 actually.
Okay.
I was just being it was actually level 2, and then I felt like the biggest dummy, and then I'm like, I can change my weapons.
I didn't figure that out.
I think it's
thought
fantastic.
I did play a tutorial.
It's really cool. And I
like
thought it was crisp, it was cool, and I haven't played online with it just because I don't know anybody that has it, and
I think somebody was posting on our forums about having it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Maybe you should look into that.
Yeah, I will.
When you go to your game library, open up the game, and then it'll show you a leaderboard, and then you can see who's got it.
Right.
Then I gotta invite people and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah,
You could take some initiative.
I know. I'll try.
Look who's talking.
I just said that. I took initiative to say.
Nice.
Didn't it?
Funny.
If somebody wants to play, they'll invite me.
Even the like the final, like in the Contra, when you got to the end and you had to fight that wall thing.
Yeah.
That's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Which I thought
awesome.
was fantastic.
Yeah,
and there's a
I've heard
couple variations of it, and then down the road,
Jump
it
and
gets
shoot the guy. Lay
insane.
down. Shoot the button.
Yeah.
God, that laying down, I suck at laying down.
And shooting.
Yeah, 'cause
or pointing down and shooting.
The pointing down shooting. Ugh.
It's hard.
Down at an angle is where I have a problem.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
That's a problem when you have those slick polish games with old school, digital controls.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Your brain is thinking one way, and then your hands
and
are
then
like...
I'm like, Earl, Feral.
Very cool.
All right, boys,
Awesome.
we've been holding it in here. Let's get to the stacking talk.
Let's do it.
Stacking.
I love it.
It's a beautiful game.
It's very.
I love the
very-
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, did you play
I
stacking?
played the
dominoes?
I played the Domo.
All right, so let's talk about stacking then. And I have a question for you guys, since you guys are in another category that I'm not. So
Okay.
think on that, suckers.
Interesting.
It's all right.
My brain hurts. Is this
So
what
what'd
I
you
took
guys-
Russian class?
Yeah, so what do you guys think of stacking?
I loved it. I liked it.
Class.
I liked it a lot. I mean, it's a puzzle game that is not. I mean, it's challenging, but at the same time, is not taxing or is not stressful.
Not at all.
Exactly, and it's got a interesting premise going on there, and is able to take things that should be bleak as all hell,
Right.
but then turn it into goofy, wacky whimsiness.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, they're having a union strike on the trail in the train station. Oh, well, we'll just go fix it, and then you bring the people down. Oh, we want nutmeg in our lunches. Okay, it's coming out of your wages. That sounds reasonable. Yay!
Yeah, it's very fun.
I'm like, I wish that's the way things work. You're trying to bust child labor here,
Right.
or whatever. But
Kidnapped orphans.
yes, there's a lot of potty humor. Much more potty humor than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, there was a couple people that had it, I guess.
There are two different types of characters that fart.
Right.
Well, it's the belching, farting,
But there are like 100 characters, so
No,
that's an all right average.
I know.
The ladies,
It's not
the
really a
ladies that shake
criticism.
their rumps.
Yes.
I will say this:
That was a
I found it
sexy
to
lady.
be. I found it to be surprisingly adult.
Yes.
There are some like really like
That is very-
subversive
Yeah.
like adult themed things.
I
in
think it's
there.
very
One of the-
Pixar.
One of the hijinks is called soliciting.
Correct. And so to solicit, you have to take the guy around and only
The solicitor.
talk to female dolls.
Yeah.
Seriously, the guy's scoping for prostitutes.
Well, he's a solicitor.
That's right. He's only adult women, though.
Yes.
I mean, it specifically says adult dolls.
Well, we don't want to get
female
perverse
dolls.
here.
But and then so there's a guy.
We're talking about dolls here. We don't want to get a perverse.
But the other thing was the filming guy, the guy with the camera.
Yes.
And so his hijinks he had to unlock was to film adult females.
Yes.
And then they basically mooned the camera. Seriously.
Oh, is that what they did?
Yeah, they turned around and showed their ass to the camera.
Oh, I don't remember
And I'm
that.
like, this is super adult. To kids, it's totally going to go over their heads.
Exactly.
But when I'm playing, I'm like, this is the dirtiest game I've played all year, probably.
I think it's very Pixar.
It is,
very
probably,
fun for kids to look at, but also adults will laugh at it.
So when we talk about the hijinks, though, I guess we can explain if
Well,
you
yeah,
haven't played the game.
so there's a story, and so there are requirements that there are challenges you're going to have to fulfill in order to progress in the story, in order to get to the next area and find your brother or sister and free them, and then save everybody.
All by playing Russian nesting dolls.
Yes, and
That stack in each
and
other.
if you don't know, yeah, exactly. You're the littlest doll there is, and you can sneak up behind a doll that's one size bigger than you, and it will highlight, and then you can just jump inside them, and then you can get into one size bigger from there, and one size bigger from there, and then that's part of the strategy. And then using combinations of dolls sometimes is useful. But
Yeah, because each doll has an ability that they can use,
Right.
that you'll need in a given situation.
Yeah, and so you can check those out. And then challenges themselves. I mentioned that it is a challenging game, trying to figure out how to, for instance, in the first challenge is, you have to break into this, you have to get the train yard guys out of this lounge that they're hanging out in. And so, trying to figure out a way to do that is a bit of a challenge, but if it's turning out to be too challenging for you, or you're sick of it, you can go into the menus and you can get hints. And there are 3 hints, and if you go to the 3rd hint, it basically tells you how to do it.
I love the hint system.
Yes.
I did have to use it on a couple occasions. I tried to go as long as I could without using it.
Same here.
Because every puzzle or challenge does have multiple solutions.
Which is also another nice, easy thing about the challenges.
Because you have multiple ways that you can solve
Exactly.
it. And you only need to solve it one way to move on with the story.
Correct.
But for the completionist, you can get all the ways and unlock other stuff. Like those pictures back at your main hideout or whatever, those complete.
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was more unlocks tied to some of that stuff.
That would have been neat.
Because I would have liked to seen some of that.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Just for more incentive.
Right.
Not that I didn't have incentive enough the way it was.
Right.
But so those challenges, they would have 3, some of them had up to 5 different solutions that you could do. And so that was half the fun for me, was figuring out, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times they kind of stacked it with made things that were some of them were obvious.
Yeah.
As far as people that would be hanging around a certain area that you'd know.
You look for unique characters most often.
Yeah, because their abilities were really a kind of a one-off, and you could use those things. But some of them were really, really clever.
They were.
And some of them were stumped me.
Yeah, same
and
here.
I had to go into the hint system, and I love the hint system being where it's 3 different things.
Yeah.
And so
first it's an abstract hint.
And so some of them I would already be into, where they would tell me on the second hint, I would have that part figured out.
Right.
But I would need the third one where
know.
it's I know I have all these things.
I know. I'd be like,
but
I
what
know
do
this
do
part
with it?
already. Come on.
So I like that they were tiered though too.
Yeah.
So if you wanted sometimes where you just didn't have anything to like for some of them, on one of them that was a 5 solution puzzle, I had 4 done, and I couldn't for the life of me think of a 5th.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that jumping on point with the first hint would be enough for me to go, and it dawned on me that this is what I need to do.
Exactly.
And so I really like that system a lot.
Same here.
Thought it was awesome.
And in addition to those challenges, there are also hijinks in each area.
Yes.
And unique dolls. And so, they encourage you to find the unique dolls. But the hijinks don't have a hint system. You don't actually know what the hijink is until you actually start that hijink.
And that was awesome.
The way you have to try and figure it out is by looking at the name and guessing based on the name. And so that was quite a bit of fun. And again, it's a challenge, but it's not necessary for completing the game.
Right.
If you're getting sick of it, you can just ignore it, and move on.
Or not even bother with it. Yeah, because it doesn't technically do anything.
Right.
So it's all a completionist thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you want the achievements, you have to do them, but beyond that.
And I kind of like that. I don't know. There were some of them that a couple of those I had to look up online too.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't understand. And I think that it rewards experimentation, because like you're saying, for a couple of them, it's only interacting with certain people, like we mentioned before,
right?
Or certain kinds of people. So, a female or children or adult males, or only hitting these certain people. And so you have to kind of go around and not just try it on one person, but like on all different kinds of people,
right? And so it really encourages exploration in that sense. Yeah, I don't think I had to go to the well for any of the hijinks. I did force a couple of the dolls, because there are a couple dolls that you have to use like another doll in order to get.
Yeah.
And I had missed that point because I didn't listen to them. If you listen to them talk, you can usually get enough hints to figure things out.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. I mean, there's the built-in hint system, but for example, when you're on the boat and you have like the safari and you have to close down the safari, if you go talk to the dude who's going to be the guy who closes down the safari, he'll kind of give you some very vague hints about some things that, he's like, oh, that bicycle's going too fast. That's dangerous.
Right.
But that took, I'm like, oh, the bicycle. And so I'm trying that out and I'm like, go faster, bicycle. I'm like, it's not doing anything. And, it took me a while before, and then I had to get out and I walked around and talked to people and I'm like, oh, there's something else I need to do for this too.
So I think my issue maybe with the game is that, and not an issue at all, but I can see a mixed bag of like people's reception to the game, because it is kind of it can be easy. Yeah. It can be super easy because not only do you just need the one solution, which sometimes is a basic solution that's in front of you, because if you really want to dig into some of the other solutions, that's what takes the more thinking and thought process. So I can see somebody burning through the game pretty quick.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not what the game is about. Right. It's not about getting to the end. It's about like experiencing all these things that you can do and like figuring out all the solutions. So I've seen some feedback from some folks saying that, it was a really quick game. I spread my gameplay out quite a bit. I just finished it last night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was doing like really short installments. And I was doing everything at one time, like trying, and I still have some hijinks and a couple solutions to do on the last level.
I was doing, I did mine in like 2-3 nights or whatever, but they were long play sessions and it took me a long time to get through it.
That's awesome.
Because I was searching around for everything. And, and it's just a lot of fun to kind of walk around and talk to people, because you'll get different reactions from people depending on who you are, like what kind of doll you're hiding in at that particular moment. Don't think too much into it though, because then it starts to get a little creepy, where you're sort of puppet mastering these people and stealing their lives.
You went a little deeper than I did. I did like when you get in the dog though, and they totally lose the color.
You go colorblind. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was really smart.
That's cool. I think the bear did that too.
Yeah, he did. I thought that was awesome. The only issues that I did have with the game is sometimes the camera got a little wonky.
I had that once in a while.
Sometimes you're just in too close
just
to corners.
Too tight, yeah.
And so it kind of be goofy, but you could get out of it really quick. It's not like you got trapped.
No.
And then the only other problem I had was sometimes there's so many dolls around that getting into the one you want to get into, it can be kind of annoying.
It would have been neat if you had a button that would switch your target.
Yeah, if you could specifically target somebody.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a group of like 4 that are all the size that you need the next up to.
Right.
And sometimes I swear I was highlighted on the one and it was still having me hop into whichever one I was next to.
Because at the last second you flipped over. Yeah, that would happen every once in a while.
But those are really, light concerns.
Because then all you have to do is just jump back out and try again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not that big a deal. But
I broke my game.
No, I really liked the demo of it. It was a fun. It was fast. I love the style. I had fun with it. It looked awesome.
It's adorable.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of like reading text, but it's not too bad. It worked. I just like the feel and the look and percentage of it.
I like the silent film presentations of the story.
Yeah.
Going on.
Really cool.
Now, my question for you guys was, as players of Costume Quest, which is Double Fine's last XBLA offering, how does it compare for you?
What am I comparing? Because it's a very different game than Costume Quest.
What did you like? Which did you like better?
Well, they feel like
is that easier?
I mean, not really.
It feels like like a fetch quest for all of them. I mean, and that's the gist I got from this. I just like the presentation. I mean, but I haven't played. I only played through the demo, and so far I've liked it. But
I don't know. I liked them both. I don't know if I could say I liked one better than the other. Because
I'm still haven't played Costume Quest because I'm an idiot.
Sure,
so.
I think Costume Quest is great, but it's a very different sort of game. I mean, it's more combat oriented, and although that's very simple combat, that's still more of the focus of the game. Whereas this is a challenge based game trying to puzzle things out, and so it's like trying to compare Limbo to Shadow Complex.
So, which did you like better, Limbo or Shadow Complex?
Ooh, Shadow Complex.
I like them for different reasons.
All right, so which one would be Shadow Complex? Because I don't have his answer. I'm joking. I'm just trying to work this down. I was just curious because I haven't played Costume Quest, so I didn't know if you had an opinion on, like, as far as how they ranked to each other.
I'm not mentally
or if they're
ranking
both
them.
strong on their own.
I think they are both strong
That's
on
awesome.
their own, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably end up purchasing Stacking just because I like the look and I thought it was fun playing. And I think the stories that Double Fine brings to the table are always fun. So interesting.
I don't know if they'll be able to do DLC for Stacking like they do for Costume Quest, but that would be pretty awesome. I don't know.
I guess they could add another level
because they did it for Costume Quest, which is this whole separate, it's practically a mini game on its own.
I've been playing some of that.
Have you?
Yeah,
it's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really
good.
fun.
It's
fun. I guess for Stacking they would just have to add another.
Yeah, you just go to
adventure.
a new place. Like somebody would send you a letter. Help us! We're in child labor over here.
New types
things
of
like that.
Dolls.
Yeah,
new types of child abuse going on there. This is what I'm talking about.
Maybe they'll fly to Jamaica and be voodoo dolls or something.
Maybe.
Then you stick pins in them.
No, that's not a good idea.
And then you hurt the people.
I know. Do you guys see Double Fine doing that Connect game, the Sesame Street Connect game?
I heard about that. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
We'll see how that goes.
That could be cool.
Could be. I can't think of another group that I'd want on something like that.
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there that's going to...
I'm definitely interested to see what they do with Connect. Because that's going to be awesome.
And if somebody's going to pair up and work on like an actual Connect, like a Sesame Street game, Double Fine being attached to it makes me feel like it's not going to just be a knockoff, like, knock something out as fast as possible with the Sesame Street stamp on it.
Well,
I think it's going to have a lot of potential.
And then that just opens up with with Pixel Games because I finally got to see some of that String Fighter or whatever. Gunstringer.
Yeah.
That looks, the design on that looks amazing, the things that you can do, and it's looking outside the box on the Connect and just having fun with it. So I had Sesame Street going from them,
And they've got the kid flair,
Right, exactly.
The flavor of like doing it all ages games. So.
I think they really appeal to the adult crowd as well as the kids. I think because Costume Quest had that too, where it had those little jokes in there. And I think they might go over kids' heads a little bit. Where and just I enjoy both of them. I totally forget about the fighting aspect sometimes in Costume Quest until I get into a fight.
I was saying it was combat oriented, but because you need combat in order for the story to progress. But at the same time, it's really about finding costume pieces. And going around and hearing the jokes and doing the goofier things.
And normally with games, I don't like that aspect, but it seems with these, I enjoy that. I enjoy going to talk to people because I think it's what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I don't have to read it. I can hear them say it. Except in Costume Quest.
Yeah, you can't.
That's why I didn't like Death Bank. Because they talked all the time. There's a lot of boxes to read. Sorry. I'm done. Sorry.
That's all right. I think that's it for XBLA.
All right. Should we talk about some disc games, or do you have some Connect? Anybody?
No,
I got nothing for Connect.
No Connect.
No Connect
demos.
corner.
No
DLC.
Didn't move the couch in the last 2 weeks. Wasn't in the mood.
Oh, it's not a demo, but I'm going to throw this in here now.
You played the Zumba?
No,
Zumba?
no, I didn't. You guys all saw that Dead Island trailer, right?
Oh yeah.
Can I take a moment for my platform here to tell everybody
to get up on your soapbox?
To get up on my soapbox and say, what the fuck, people?
I don't. You know what? I don't know what's going on.
Because I need to talk about this a second.
Because it's beautiful, and that's all I know.
It is. Did you guys enjoy? I mean, it was awesome, right?
I thought it was I thought it was the best game trailer I've seen.
We've all been playing games for a while now, right? So we all in this room, at least us three, know that trailer, that teaser for this game, wasn't actual gameplay footage, right?
Oh. I hate that.
I hate to break the news to you. I don't understand why people can't view it for what it is, and it's almost like an anti-hype. So maybe I can see that aspect of it. It's people that really just get angry when something gets popular or gets hyped, and so they have to do some kind of anti-measure against it.
Maybe they're not angry. Maybe they just don't want to get their hopes up too high, so they have to.
But
verbally
confirm what everybody already knows and say that this game isn't going to look like this? Right, we know that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know that?
I don't care.
Who are these people you're talking to?
I'll rent it just by the trailer alone.
If you are writing an article for Wired Magazine Online, the gaming section...
That's pretty bad.
The only nerds, us included, the only nerds, we own that, that are going to read that are people that don't need to hear that.
Exactly.
We don't need to be reminded that this is not actual footage and that maybe everybody should have their... perspective or keep some perspective on it. No, you don't, because you'll just get angry.
I will, because I don't know any about that, because I saw it, I thought it was beautiful.
The teaser was awesome. It was fantastic. It did what it was supposed to do, which was all of a sudden a game that nobody's heard of for like 4 years, that a lot of people thought was a dead project, all of a sudden went the next day to everybody was that same day. Everybody was talking about it.
Oh yeah,
it was trending on Twitter. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
and it was perfectly done. And I don't think any of us hold any like false illusions that it could still go horribly wrong, right? I mean, the game doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to play.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with appreciating like that piece that was made.
Oh no,
at all.
I thought it was amazing,
and the feeling.
It was a cool trailer.
It was really happy.
Yeah,
I think that's what I like about it. It's really an uplifting.
I thought it was smart. I thought the trailer was really smart. I loved the whole pacing of it and how they kind of. Oh, it was like a Tarantino movie.
It was brilliant.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, a good Tarantino movie.
Soil it for me.
It happens. There's
Why don't
good
you just
ones.
come over here and take a crap right next to my chair.
There's a good Tarantino movie.
I didn't know you had a big hate for Tarantino.
Jeez.
I find him very annoying.
Oh yeah, I find him very annoying as well. But
I find the movies, because eventually he basically pops up even though he's not popping up.
His giant head.
Yes.
And then you just hear...
There's always that point where the movie grinds to a halt.
Well, and you hear him through all his characters.
And then he just kind of jabs about things.
It's like 8 pages of dialogue, and you can hear him saying it. Yes. But regardless of Craig's hate for Tarantino...
it's cool.
I just needed to say that a second, because people are getting on my balls hardcore about it.
They are.
Driving me nuts.
I'm surprised you can sit down like that.
I know.
Hardcore.
With all the people on your balls.
Uprising.
So we'll see. That's supposed to be coming out this year. And so we'll look forward to that. And then I think it's also people covering their ass. I think it's people that want to say shit now so that if it ends up being bad, which, let's be honest, any game that ever comes out has a far more percentage of being terrible than it does being good.
Yeah.
Just by nature of how games turn out or, projects go. So I think it's people covering their ass of like wanting to be able to go, see, everybody was all happy for this, and I said it was shit, and I was right.
Huh. Game or not, I'll still watch the trailer.
That's right.
It's all about entertainment, folks.
You know what I say? F them.
F who?
Everybody.
There you
I
go.
Don't know what I'm talking about.
You should hire Insult Ninja to pop up on each one of them.
I'm going to.
We are the Insult Ninja.
Way to go, Captain Obvious.
All right. I'm off my soapbox now. Let's talk about some real games.
All right, let's put that away.
Do we have any older games to touch back on? Before we talk about new ones?
I guess I could touch back on Two Worlds 2 just very briefly.
Did you play some?
I've been continuing. I'm still in the first third of the game. I've got like 16 hours into it.
Can I tell you something terrible? I picked up a copy of Two Worlds 2 so that we could do some co-op.
Yeah.
And I've had it for 13 days. And
That's
I have
not terrible. That's obvious.
I have not put it in my
Have you unwrapped
machine yet. No.
I didn't think so.
So anyway, I would like to check that out sometime, but
yes,
I need to get around to it.
We definitely should. But the only reason I'm touching on it is because last time I specifically mentioned the mentions that I had heard about graphics and things like that. And that is starting to show up now that I'm like an hour 16, 17 or whatever. Like when I load into an area, it takes a little longer for it to chug things into place. It's not the end of the world or anything like that. It did freeze up once when I left a building, but
that's the end of the world.
Consider
right there.
Oh, you're speaking metaphorically.
That's when it ended for that whole world,
That's
man.
true.
That world just was like done.
It did. All those poor people
died.
Well, they're just frozen in time. It's not ended.
Well, no, I had to turn off the Xbox.
Oh,
shit. It was frozen.
And then Craig totally Galactused it.
He created a new reality.
It was trying to go into the quick save, I think, because it does a lot of quick saves. I don't think I ever mentioned that before. It quick saves a lot, which is fantastic.
And you can alter that, too.
Oh, can you?
You can change the time frame because it does automatically. Cool. I think it defaults to like 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Something like that. It's nice
but
because I'll forget to save every once in a while and then I'll put myself into a bad situation.
When it does pop up, it does stop your action for a second.
Just a brief second.
So like sometimes I'll be in the middle of combat, like when I was playing it, and it would pop up with a quick save. And so I'm like, swing, like in mid swing, and then it like saves, and then I go back to fighting. I'm like, well, that was a little odd.
Yeah, it's odd. It's not something you expect. That's for certain. But I do appreciate the quick saves.
Yes,
that is very, very nice. But so yeah, it's chugging a little more. But like I said, I've put 16 hours into it. And I'm still not done with the first area because I'm being very thorough.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. I like that. That was all I wanted to say about it.
Okay. I was trying to play Test Drive Unlimited 2.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently they had a ton of launch problems.
Oh, really?
So when I got around to trying to play it, I loaded up the game. It said start, which I pressed start, and it said there's no save file. Press A to make a save file, and I said, yeah, let's do that. So I hit A to make a save file, and it is basically all these camera shots of the car, and like it would move, like the camera would move out and pan, and kind of you'd see all the like scenery and it'd go to another shot. And so I'm like, okay, still making the save file, I guess, doing all this stuff. I left it there for about 5 minutes. Nothing was happening. So I went back to my main menu because you couldn't do anything.
Right.
Went back to the main menu, tried it again. It did the same thing. I went, maybe there's a problem with the disk. So I installed the game onto my hard drive.
Right.
And then did it from there. Did the same thing. Awesome. So I went online and tried to find out what was going on and found many threads about my game is froze on the start screen. So I looked into those, and apparently they had a ton of problems and took down the servers.
Oh.
And it creating the save file has to communicate to their servers online because that's a brilliant decision, I guess. Wow. With my local save file. So it doesn't give you any kind of notice of saying there's no server, nothing. It just basically hangs. And so you can't create a save file unless you disconnect from live. So I would have to basically sign in and then unplug my router or the wireless connector in the back so that I would be disconnected from live but still signed in. I did not want to do that, so I haven't played it yet. Although it's supposed to apparently be fixed.
Wow.
But it sounds like a really handy thing.
I was like 2 seconds away from renting that, too.
You should have, because you wouldn't have been able to play it without disconnecting your live.
Awesome. Well,
I don't know how you would be able to do it, because yours is internal.
Yeah.
Can you connect to live without, or sign in without connecting?
You should turn off your router.
You should be able to.
I guess you'd have to turn off
the wireless
connection.
That wouldn't be hard.
That'd be stupid, though.
But why would you want to?
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why it's tied to that way, but apparently it's supposed to be fixed now.
Probably because of their online play, so it probably kind of makes the profile for you for your online play.
I guess.
Or links it.
It was terrible, though. So I have nothing to say about that at the moment. Maybe next episode I'll have some more.
You're not going to go back to it.
I might. We'll see.
You don't know Jack.
What about you don't know Jack? Should we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
that's why I said it.
That's what we call a segue.
I was trying to be smart for once in this podcast.
Sean is contributing to this podcast.
I will sabotage
unlike
that
you,
any way I can.
Who tears everybody down.
I know. And plays games that are broke and can't play them.
I know. And then you just complain about it here.
And complain about other
nobody likes
people.
to hear you complain.
Yes, they do. So, and then I complain about the internet. Hey, guys, have you heard about the internet? It's full of douchebags. What's up with that?
Oh, wait. What's that over there? Way to go, Captain Obvious.
Anyway, You Don't Know Jack.
It's awesome.
Yes.
It is awesome.
It is very cool.
All three of us bought it, right?
I did eventually pick it up.
Awesome.
I was resisting for a while there, but then everybody was talking about it.
I had no... we're all obviously fans of You Don't Know Jack from back in the day.
Because we're old.
It's the only
years
PC
ago now,
game I ever played.
Exactly.
Oh, then Sims for like an hour. And then I was like, I could be playing You Don't Know Jack.
So we were looking forward to the release. However, I will say that I didn't really know how it was going to be handled.
Yeah.
I knew that the original Jellyvision people were attached. I knew that they had the original voice actors, available, or at least Cookie doing the.
What else
hosting.
is he doing?
Yeah, exactly. that Max TV or whatever it was that he was doing those voiceovers for a while.
That's right. Yeah.
The video clip shows,
But then YouTube ruined that.
Right, I know.
Now
Come
you don't
on.
need to.
Way to go,
TMZ
YouTube.
ruined that.
TMZ. Oh.
So anyway,
Why you got to taint our show with TMZ?
so the game comes.
TNT is for.
That's true. Why do you have to say taint?
Taint more zoos.
Anyway,
Taint more zoos.
now we're playing You Don't Know Jack, I think. So the game comes out, and I put it in, and I'm in about, I don't know, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yes, this game is back.
Very cool.
And I was completely blown away by how true to form it was. I was extremely impressed because for me, it could have been anybody, THQ could have picked this up and just like been pushing out whatever version of it that they wanted to with that title.
Sure.
And I was just completely ecstatic with how much work and effort they put into it to make it feel like all those old games. It was right back home for me.
Yeah, I had a little shit boy grin when it's like,
I know.
It's like hit the license or hit the whatever the THQ.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the logo, like hit the logo, and then it comes up on the screen. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna have so much fun right now. That's all it took. And getting my ass handed to me. I'm dumb. I don't know Jack.
I like it because it is a very challenging. The trivia in there is very challenging. It says, it's an irreverent quiz game, and it hates everybody. Nobody. It doesn't like anybody, especially you, the player.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Jack has always been for me is sometimes it's even trying to understand what they're asking.
I think the Insult Ninja would worked on.
That's what
game.
he is.
Yeah. It sounds like Cookie.
Part of the game for me is figuring out what they're even asking half the time,
right?
And then what the answers mean. Which that's part of the game. That's always been part of the game. I love it.
I think this was a new addition just for the Xbox, but because I don't remember it. I played the PS2 version, which was the last iteration of it all. The wrong answer of the day.
Yeah.
I love the wrong answer.
That's a lot of fun. I had some friends over who were playing it, and I had one friend whose sole goal was to figure out what the wrong answer of the day was.
Every game I play, I could give a shit about my score. I'm looking for the wrong answer of the game.
I try that, but when I actually have actual people playing against me, I'm really trying to beat them to the right answer. And
you should try to be more of a friend and less trying to beat them.
Oh, because that's what a game with a purposeful screw aspect is about.
Exactly.
Oh, to be honest with you, we never even used the screw.
You never used the screw?
No, because we play for fun.
It's good stuff.
Some idiot online hit me with the screw, and I screwed him. It was
nice.
Great.
Yeah.
It's like, you're stupid.
It's good stuff,
You're
man.
dummy head.
I love the wrong answer of the game. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love looking for it.
I got a wrong answer during online, and it totally changed the course, and I ended up winning handsomely. It was like a lot.
That's awesome.
It was like around 4,000. But Summertime got one 8,000 points
in the second round.
And we were playing, and I was like, you suck. I was like 8,000 points.
That's awesome.
But I killed her in the Jack attack.
There you go.
Yep.
And I love that you can use the Seen It controllers.
Very, very,
awesome
very smart.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I tried using it. I didn't want to go get it because I'm that lazy. So it was all the way over like 7 feet away from me.
I hate you sometimes.
Not sometimes. You hate me all the time. So I had it. The controller was right next to me, so I can turn it on and do everything from my couch. I just want you to move. So I was going to do a one-player game.
You can't train the dog to go fetch those things for you.
She's lazier than me.
That's true.
We're going to do one-player game. I was going to do one-player game, so I just needed the one controller.
Yeah.
So I turned it on, and playing it that way, I didn't like it as much because when you play with the Seen It way, it lists them all the same way that they're organized on the controller.
Right.
So it lists them all top to bottom.
Right.
But on the controller-wise, it lists them in the triangle form.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that at all. Or not the triangle,
Circle.
the diamond shape, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Circle-ish, yeah. I didn't like that because trying to read through all the answers was more like confusing for me when they were all formed that way than if they were straight up and down.
I just leave my my Seen It thing plugged in now.
Yeah,
because then it shows up, but I still use my controller.
Yeah,
nice.
If I need be.
There you go.
But yeah, the fact that they let you use that peripheral is awesome. Like Summertime, we've played Seen It a lot, and I think she likes this game because of, I'm not, when it comes to the pop culture, I'm pretty good, but when it comes to just regular culture, I'm not so good. But she really liked the fact that Cookie's making fun of me a lot as much as he's making fun of her. Which in Seen It, it's like always the loser gets made fun of, like hardcore, and this one is just
it doesn't matter.
Like everybody
Craig said, he
gets
hates
made
you.
fun of. Yeah,
she just enjoys contempt against you.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You don't want to be the only one getting the insult ninja attacks,
right?
And it's the best is at the end when you feel like you've really accomplished something, and it's just like, hey, look at your score. Well, that wasn't that great. You don't know Jack.
My favorite, I played, most of the episodes I've played has been my wife and I together. I haven't played any online.
Yeah.
we were talking about this. I was talking with somebody else online about this. Is that I've had a really hard time going in online or thinking to play online. I think I would play with multiple people in a room, but playing online, it almost would become like less fun and more competitive. And that's what I was talking about with you.
Sure.
You know, I don't want the competitive. I want to have fun with it.
It is more. I get that feeling because I've done some online games. Yes.
Is it going to be that much different than 1 versus 100?
No, but there's a much different fun aspect to You Don't Know Jack than 1 versus 100.
Okay.
So I don't mind the competitive nature of a game, but I mind it in a game like this where I really want to like. Most of the experience for me playing this game is hearing everything that's happening and paying attention to it.
Sure.
And not necessarily getting a high score.
Sure.
So I worry about being online. I'm going to miss things like paying attention. It's really weird. Maybe it's my own psyche problems, but you know, it's my interpretation of this game, and it's playing it at like my pace and my speed.
Sure.
And just being able to hear everything and see everything and have fun with it. And I worry about putting it on a headset and playing, like, even with you guys, like, I would feel like I'd want to talk to you guys if we're all playing.
Yeah.
But then, like, what am I going to miss?
Exactly.
If we were all in a room, I'd play, because we could all, like, talk and joke and then, like, still...
How would you not miss things then?
Because it's turned up loud enough.
Yeah, because it would be reacting, and I could do multiple things then, but if it's in my ear, I couldn't. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
I'm a weird dude.
I'm the same one.
But also,
I agree with
it's been a lot of fun for us just to sit there, the two of us, and play it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you go online, I worry about playing against people who've already played episodes, since you know there is a limited number of episodes.
Yeah, but still there are 76.
There's a ton.
There's 76, and they've already got download packs set up for.
And I don't think I'm barely past 20 episodes.
Yeah.
So I still have a
just
ton
got
to go.
past 10.
I've hit the 10, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking my time because I don't want to just play everything by myself.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
And
have
I'm
a
the
built-in competitor.
Right.
I'm the same way, too.
Yeah. So, because, you know, I do enjoy. It's still funny when you play by yourself.
Yeah.
But it is a lot more fun to kind of enjoy it with other people.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Because them saying episodes, it is an episode. I mean,
Although
each one of them feels like you're watching or competing in an episode or a show, and it just is very tight knit, and it almost feels like there's a whole theme to every question and how things work.
But there's a progression too.
Yeah.
So that's my other thing with playing online. So yeah, I could go online and play with somebody who, like, even a friend who's maybe way ahead of me.
Yeah.
So like now, if we played, we would have to play like on my episode 21, let's say.
Sure.
And that's 10 episodes ahead of where you guys are at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it does play off of some things that happened in previous episodes sometimes. I mean, so
that's
there's a
cool.
linear thing
That's
to
cool.
it. And so then jumping around becomes not enticing to me because that also hampers some of the experience. But that also feeds into my issues of being a big spoiler baby with like wanting things to play out like they're supposed to play out and experience things as they're supposed to. So I'm probably way too serious about it.
I think you are. About
Which is funny because
irreverent game.
Which is funny because I'm talking about how I don't want it to be as competitive because I don't. So, but I'm super serious about it.
Yes.
I'm such a retard.
Yes.
But talking about playing by,
I did my own ninja.
that was nice. Talking about playing by yourself reminded me of another thing that I really like about it, which are the hilarious achievements tied to it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's only going to be so many actual, you know, genuine achievements that you can do based on a quiz show game. And so there are all these crazy things, like the one that I'm thinking of is the social outcast, which is like play 5 games on Saturday night or Friday night by yourself.
Yeah.
And there's the one, some people have it already, cheaters. The turncoat, which is to play on the 4th of July instead of celebrating America's birthday.
People have that already. What cheaters?
I know, what the hell? Oh yeah, we're not going to notice that.
Hey, no, it isn't.
Clock changers.
I'd say it's 4th of July somewhere, but it's not.
It
not.
is not.
That works on time,
That
but not
does
on
not
day.
work.
I know this. I said it.
We just
I
want you
called
to
myself
remember.
out on it, but thanks for just pointing it out. For
No problem.
hate
That's what
my
we're
life.
here
Yeah,
for.
and there's one of them that's playing for 5 hours without getting an achievement.
Yeah, I know. So
That sucks.
What was it called? Like the consolation prize?
Something
Well, I
like
mean,
that.
That's awesome,
eventually
though.
you're going to get to a point where you've gotten the
It's
majority
great.
of the achievements that you're going to get. Yeah,
I love it.
I know. That's
And
really
then
clever.
Avatar Awards are in there too. Good
Yes.
stuff. Good stuff.
You know what? And that's gonna. I forgot to mention that during stacking. I'm bummed that had no Avatar
Yeah,
awards.
I mean that would have been awesome, but
now, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about that.
Especially with the style of
I
the
missed
game.
my moment.
Yeah.
To bitch about that.
well, it was also weird because Costume Quest did have Avatar awards.
exactly.
And they were neat. So
See?
anyway,
Let's go back in time.
no.
And then you mentioned the achievements, but also the stuff that it gives when people are playing the game is hilarious to me.
Oh, the prizes?
No, the like the status information. Like if you've looked at anybody's statuses when they're playing it, some of those are hilarious too.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't seen those.
What is like they're playing one-handed?
Playing one-handed, yeah. It's playing and is really excited.
Nice.
It's all just various stuff, and they're all funny.
Nice.
I love them.
Those are really nice.
And it's $30.
$30.
Yeah, that's the best part. I mean, I think that was what sealed the deal for me.
Yeah, well,
I knew I wanted to play it, but I played the PS2 version, and actually that wasn't quite as fun. But I pretty much played that by myself.
Yeah,
and because the PS2 didn't have online capabilities.
That's true. Yeah.
I
forgot I had that too.
Yeah. I mean, it was decent, but it was like,
yeah. I played a lot by myself.
Yeah, and then,
weird.
And there is a lot of content. I mean, there's 73 episodes, and they would be 10 to 15 minutes per, probably closer to the 15 if you listen to all the questions and don't skip any of the stuff, I guess. Yeah. But 15 minutes at 73 episodes, you're upwards of like 15 plus hours at that point, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time
for you clock counters.
It was a
lot of time for $30.
It was a good. I had a really fun moment. I was playing with Summertime, and it was like one of the wrong answers came up, and I saw it, but my brain hit the right one because I knew it was right, and I totally hit it, and then I was like mad, and I was like, son of, because time was still clicking, and then Summer clicked hers, and she's like, what are you mad for? You got it right, and I'm like, but that's the wrong answer, and she's like, which one? And I was like, that one.
That one that fits into the clue.
Yep.
And I didn't understand the wrong answers of the game at first until I accidentally got one.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, they're all like hints.
Yeah.
And
So
I find
cool.
them, I think they're super easy to find because, I mean, they go right off of the...
The banana toaster one was one I couldn't figure out, but I mean,
I did.
There's,
it's awesome.
I think
that's
all
I care about.
I think I was thinking too far into the banana toaster.
Yeah.
Sounds like a porno.
I think my favorite moment when I was playing through was one time a friend tried to screw himself, thinking he could get bonus points because he thought he knew the answer. But that just automatically deducted the points from him. And they went into nowhere. It just automatically failed him.
Because you were playing more than two people, so you had to select.
There are three people, and so when you play two, it just
it would just automatically go to the other person.
Yeah, we were playing 3-player, and so he tried to screw himself to gain extra points because you get double the points if you successfully screw somebody.
That's awesome.
And so it just deducted the points, and then they made fun of him.
That's awesome.
On the game.
And you were talking about,
I made fun of him.
You were talking about the endings. That was I don't remember what episode it was on, but it was one that I was playing by myself, which most of them we've been playing together. But one I played by myself, and it was like, I hate you.
Yeah.
And then it went immediately to the thing. So it was like 2 seconds. It was just showed my score, and he's like, I hate you. You don't know Jack. I'm like, that is, I about shit myself. That stuff is so awesome.
Yeah.
If you enjoy comedy and trivia games, then it is definitely something to be checking out.
I think the DLC on this will be pretty. I'm looking forward to trying some of those out.
$5 and they're 10 episodes, and I think they've set up to 4 of them that they're doing.
Well, I know they got achievements listed for up to 3 of them right now. So,
and
I was wondering that because it was like 1375 was the total points on the,
and it's going to be quite a while before I get to that. level of needing them at that point.
And I think that's fantastic about that game.
Did you hit the odd one yet? I saw there's a 3-point one, or one that's like 13 points, then one like. There's 73 points, and then there's one that's like 17 points.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's going to drive Jeremy insane.
Okay, so one of them is playing all like half or all the episodes or something. And so when I get that one, then I'll go for the other one.
Well, the other one is completing all of the episodes.
Okay, so when I get to that one...
You get 73 points for completing all 73 episodes.
And then the other one is 37 points for, or something like that, for... getting a minus $1 million at the Jack Attack.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And so that one you have to specifically do,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So every time we start up the game, Aaron's like, why don't we try to do that thing? I'm like, because it's an odd achievement. And she's like, I'm sorry, I forgot. I've told her like 4 times, like every time we play. So now to the point where I'm just like, because I have mental problems, all right? When I finish all the episodes, then I'll get it that same fucking day. But I'm not till then.
Oh. We'll see.
Anyway, so I can't accidentally get that one at least, and then be off until I finish them all, because then I'd be burning through them in a weekend.
The great evener that is the friggin' Jack Attack. The fact that you can go from like killing everybody to a negative like 5,000.
And it's so great having that all like renewed, because it's like they give you the fake ones and, and the ones that are messed up a little bit.
And the scream is still there. For the fact that they really didn't change it up too much, and it's still awesome.
That Jack Attack is very different single player versus multiplayer, though.
Yeah.
We were talking about that when I was looking at some of the leaderboards.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, God, if you're playing by yourself, your potential to have a better score is just so much more than anybody who plays with multiple people, because you're going to get every Jack Attack most likely.
Yeah.
You're going to get every dis or dat. You're
Yeah.
going to get all this other stuff, and you're not under any kind of pressure.
I like the new additions for different question types.
Yes.
The
fortune
arrange cookies, fortune, cookie, fortune,
the dummy,
the dummy, and then the arranging things in the proper order.
and the number intros, which they change up once in a while, which I am assuming all of them have, but it took a long time for me to even see a couple of them.
Oh, really? I've only seen one change up, and it's changed up a couple times.
I've seen 3 or 4 different ones now, and I love them.
But like I said, I've only played through episode 10.
So they take a long time to see them all, which is awesome.
Keep it varied.
I think the game is awesome.
Yep. I agree.
It abused severely all of my expectations. It just beat the shit out of them.
Wow.
It was awesome.
I meant exceed.
Can we say it's awesome some more times, guys?
I think it's awesome.
Sorry, Craig. I don't have my source with me today.
It's bitching. It's boss.
It's totally boss.
It's boss.
It is. Okay.
It is boss.
I'm happy with that.
All right.
It is rad, boss, and totally bitchin'.
Far out.
That work?
Far out.
Nah, it's not
I
good.
wouldn't describe it as far out.
All right, what we got left? Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Quattro.
I think you
that's
played,
not Quattro.
You've played it a lot more than I have.
Yes, I have.
I've played it a little bit.
And I absolutely love this game. I almost want to buy it, even though I fucking hate it. Seriously.
I'm lost.
I know, and so am I.
Recap, please.
I love playing arcade mode, just having fun, just spamming and playing, just changing up the whole gameplay, because the fact that you can change these, the customization on these characters, I was able to have like a total X-Force team going, because you can have an X-Force Wolverine, X-Force Deadpool, and like X-Force X-23. Or you can there's one...
Is this stuff you have to unlock, or
no,
can
you
just
can
change?
just by hitting your buttons.
Yeah,
which is
you can change their colors.
Because back in the day, you just hit the high punch or low punch, blah blah blah. But this one, you will show you the colors.
Spoilers.
They're having DLC that are different costumes too.
And
that's nice of them.
And it's pretty crazy what they chose.
I know.
For some of the costumes, because for Captain America, he's got a Punisher cap.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty, and then
it's that short story where Punisher got dressed up like Captain America,
and then one of the Spider-Mans is
purpose.
one of the newest costumes that just was released not too long ago during
seriously?
the big time. Yeah,
the Iron one,
the stealth one,
the stealth, the black with the green,
the Tron looking one.
The Iron one is on there too. But that's what I really liked about that, is to switching things up, because my Phoenix, my favorite team is Phoenix, Magneto, and Doctor Doom, and I have them all rocking this. Doctor Doom's wearing all black except for a red cape, and he looks badass.
Nice.
And then the Magneto is mostly all the purple is black, but then all the red is black, but all the purple is red, and he's amazing looking. And then of course my Jean's all black except for the yellow Phoenix. And then she's got a gray belt. Oh, and it's awesome to play that. And that's what I like about it, is having fun with the characters. The lineup is insane. The Capcom lineup that's the one that blew me away. Having Bionic Commando on there. Chris from
Chris Redfield from Resident Evil.
From Resident Evil, the dog from that artsy game. Yes, and he's awesome to play. She is awesome. That bitch is cool.
I know. I fucking love the Capcom people. I love her and Beautiful Joe. And Arthur.
From
Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, and he's he jogs up to his suit and he's in his boxers. I mean, that's the intro. And he's fantastic. He was cracking me up.
See, I love there's so much I want to love about this game.
No Servbot though, is there?
No, sorry.
I know. Tron Bond's still in there, so she's got her Servbots working for her.
And they piss me off.
That my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 team is always Tron Bond and 2 Servbots.
I think the characters are awesome. I think that there's a really good selection. and maybe I was.
I don't think you can double up on this one though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I must have been completely like blind to some of the people that were in the game ahead of time. Like I knew the Okami was in there.
I was,
and some of those.
I was blinded,
but I didn't know
myself.
Phoenix was in it.
Nope.
For instance.
I
so
didn't.
then I played, and I'm like, what? Jean Grey's end up in this?
Although they don't have a dark red outfit, which
That's
is
what I'm saying.
ridiculous. But DLC.
Whatever.
I really I had a lot of fun with it. I have been playing some online matches, some online rank matches. Whenever I have to face like Ryu, Akuna, and Wolverine all together, I want to quit right away. But you know what? I just sit back and have some fun because at the same time, I really like the animation style that they went with. It's got that cell shading again. I really like some of the character designs and some of the finishing moves on some of these newer characters. So it's just not finishing moves, but you know,
the power moves.
Power moves. But I really enjoy watching my ass get kicked.
See, I gotta tell you, I like how everything looks except the character models.
Really?
I don't like the character models
I
at
like
all.
them a lot.
Like they look really like the 3D look that they have and the smoothness that they have.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the like sprite looking stuff, like from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or the older style stuff, or even the updated, the cell shaded look from Street Fighter 4.
You fear change. I understand.
No,
well, that's
not
what
at
I
all.
like.
They just look.
I'm kidding.
I don't like how. No, I was really offended. I don't like how they look so smooth and. I don't know. It's something weird. Something seems off about it to me, and I'm just not into it as much as I thought I would be.
They just look better on your 50 plus.
However,
TV
I love all
40, I guess.
I love all the backgrounds. I love the actions that they're doing, like the animation stuff of like their attacks, and like when shit's just going crazy.
Yes.
And shit does go crazy all over the place. And that's part of my problem because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I like the inclusion of the simple mode that they did.
Yeah.
Where they throw in the simple mode so moves are easier to do.
It's like combo move, like a all together move, and then your high punch.
Yeah.
Or high attack.
So you can, it's easier for a simplistic player like me.
Wow. Or trigger is all 3 buttons, so you can just special move.
And I would imagine that's a problem for some like more veteran players if they're playing against people who are doing that. But I would also argue that it doesn't matter what button combo you give me. If you know how to play the game,
can you get matched up simple to
I think
non-simple?
So. I think it's whatever control set you want to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
However,
I can see it either way.
However, if I have the simple controls, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I have them because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So if you are still able to play the game and block and defend and do everything, you're going to kick my ass all the time. So it's no question for me.
Yeah. Well, and plus, if people don't like playing against those people, then, they just don't play against them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I really like how they stuck with what Street Fighter 4 had with like their training mode. I really like the fact that that's in this one where they have it's more like a challenge stage where you want to hit certain moves, and that keeps you going, and it's a good way to learn moves.
I like it, but I have a problem with it, and that's that they tell you the name of the move, but not what to do.
Oh.
So you have to, what you do is, so they tell you what to do for the move. So they're like, I was messing around with Wolverine on there, and they're like, do your thunder slash roll attack punch fist. I don't know what it was called, but so they're saying do this.
I think it was that.
And here, so they're like, okay,
fist was before that.
You do light, heavy, move forward, whatever. So they tell you the stuff there, but they don't tell you what to do. So you have to pause it, go into the move list,
right?
And then on there it'll tell you, do this with the arrows and the button attack. And I'm like, why isn't that on the screen?
I don't know why that isn't.
And you can turn on showing what your input is. So it'll show you what you're doing.
Yeah.
It'll keep a track of like what you're hitting for buttons. But why wouldn't it give you a list of what you should be doing so you could match those up?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Because I'm a tard and I
still
need
like
that.
it though. Yep.
I like that it's there.
Maybe they didn't design the game for babies.
That could be very well the problem, which is why I don't have it. God damn it, Insult Ninja.
But you can have Iron Man in his red and silver outfit, and that made me happy.
I like how our discussion started with 3 minutes of Sean talking about his favorite color schemes.
Well,
Sean, I really do love that about you, sir.
And that's his like go-to after my like, well, this is why the training sucks. Yeah, but the Iron Man has a different color costume, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I don't know if Street Fighter 4 had it because I didn't really look into it, but I like the fact that you can set up a reserve list.
That is awesome.
So when you go in,
list?
you set up a reserve list. So you have you hit that, and that has like 3 different preset teams.
Oh, so you don't have to actually create the team. If you have your favorite teams, you can just kind of save them. That's clever.
So I think that's really cool because and then you can just, you don't have to remember color. Once you figure out a team you like,
right.
Like I've got my reserve set
because it's an expanded roster now, isn't it? Is it? Well, is it more characters than before?
It doesn't seem like it's bigger. It's just less Street Fighter characters and more Capcom characters and some newer, like MODOK's in there. I don't remember him being in Captain or whatever. But,
no, he wasn't. No, he's one of the new ones.
Yeah, there's some really, really neat aspects. Some of the achievements I like are very smart. Like they're tied into characters that you use. Like I played online the other day and I was like Cap, Iron Man, and Spider-Man.
You mean characters that you personally choose to use
and like play?
So they're not character specific.
Yep. Well, cool. Then I played against another team that had, I believe it was Iron Man and someone else. So I got a Civil War achievement because I was Cap versus Iron Man.
Oh, so they are characters.
Yeah, they're specific. Okay. Yep. And like one was the X Factor one, which I don't understand how I got that one because it was something like raising havoc or something like that.
Well, it's because of the X Factor ability that's in the game, because that's new too, where you can activate that X Factor power thing where you build up your meter and you
so it's not comic related.
But they had it's raising havoc was like I
know, and so when I saw that achievement, I'm like, wow, are there X Factor people in there? But I didn't. So then I played it and I realized that X Factor is just a mode you activate, basically that you kind of get this red glow over you and it increases your speed.
You get the glow.
It's like turbo.
Yeah, basically. Yep. And so you do more power, more damage. I think it affects people differently, though. Like other characters, depending on who has it, it affects them a little bit differently. And it lasts for a little bit. But yeah, I think that's new to the game, too.
Yeah. Some of the character, like I enjoy some of them. Some of the dialogue I hate, like X-23 I hate because she's all like, take that, you suck. It doesn't sound like X-23 to me. But I got over that one. I digress.
It's not how she sounds in your head.
No.
When you read the books.
No, she's a cutter. She's all depressed.
Yeah, she's
awesome. She's not like, take that, you suck. I'm the second best there is. But the choice of characters are really neat.
That's a good tagline.
Having a lot of fun with like playing. And like I said, I'm not a big online player with this game just because I don't like getting my ass handed to me by Ryu. Sure. But at the same time, I've had a lot of fun with it, and that's why a part of me is like I'm gonna re-rent it today. I know that.
What's the waiting menu system like? Because with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, they had what you could watch the match.
No,
you can't anymore.
What?
No. I know. Why would you take that out, right? And so you can have up to 8 people lobbies now too.
Yeah,
but you can't. You basically just sit there and wait for the other people to get done.
That's ridiculous.
Why would you take out the spectate?
I don't know.
Although I think that it's coming as DLC, so maybe that's why you take it out of the game.
Yeah,
awesome. Maybe it's not coming, but I thought I saw that it was coming as DLC, which that is fantastic.
Well, maybe it's like the Lara Croft online DLC.
That's the only.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
think it's coming for pay.
Yeah, I was really that kind of blew me away. I played a couple like rooms for a while, but the wait is just ridiculous, and the fact that you can't watch. So I did mostly custom matches, rank, and just found people.
I honestly don't know why you take that out.
So
that's weird.
But other than that, just there's so many cool things about the game.
I'm no good at it.
I'm not good at it either.
I really wish I was. I
bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 the day it came out. I think I played. I played it a couple nights. Yeah. I've got 0 achievements on that. I am the epitome of no good at fighting.
Well,
games.
I think I got 2 on that one, and I've already gotten like 6 or 7 on this one.
You have more.
You know what the problem is?
I know, but it's ridiculous.
It's just needing to put the time and effort into it, and I just don't do it.
I need a controller that I can. I need
buy a
$90 controller.
I need my Sega Genesis controller. That was the one I always did. I did very well on my 6-button Sega Genesis controller.
Or you at least need a joystick.
No, I need a D-pad that clicks good. I need a D-pad that's not.
You should get that new one.
But that means I need to buy a new controller, and I haven't heard anything back from any listeners who have the new one to tell me.
So it's all their fault.
Or they can just send it to me, and I'll do a review on the show, and I'll send it back.
I think it's not awesome that controller's more expensive than the game. I think that's not awesome at all.
So. That's the only thing. I don't really, because the only problem with the joystick would be good, but I need something to keep it down, keep it stable, because I get crazy, and I feel the need to stand up.
That's why you need the pad, man. You need a joystick pad.
I need the NES Max.
Just get a cabinet.
Yeah, or that was the Advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
A cabinet with your television screen built in.
That's what I wanted to
ridiculously wide.
That's what I wanted to do.
And you're standing 2 inches in front of it.
But you got to do it like the old.
You have to lean back to kind of see what's going on.
The old school. But they used to have those old school widescreen ones, you know, that were that big, and then you just kind of. It's just like the old, the old Simpsons and those games. Were that big, and you just got to stand back.
They weren't that big.
They were that big.
They were not that big.
They weren't 50-inch TVs.
Not maybe 32 to 27, 27 inch.
Okay.
I'd say 27.
Yeah, I'll believe that.
Because there's like 3 fucking TVs, and I just swore because I'm getting all mad.
Let's make this an official debate. Come on.
Put him into a corner.
I know, look at me. I'm getting all defensive.
Fighting out.
I'm like, ah! Look at me.
I know arcade games, damn it.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I stared at those things for hours on Saturdays.
I just wish I would, like I said, I wish I was better at it, but it's all on me. It's just me needing to put the time and effort into it. But I think that there are some defaults here that it's not helping new people that want to get into it that are like me by not having that training be kind of half-assed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, here's the move, but
having to back out to go look at the move is ridiculous.
well, just put that on the screen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Or make it an option. You can turn on and off your input showing up.
Yeah.
Why can't you turn on and off that to show up?
Maybe it'll come in a patch or a DLC.
It's probably in the DLC that works like the other stuff, where it should have been in the game, but we'll add it later.
Well, I like
pay for it.
It's fun.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. We should team up some while I have it still.
Tonight.
All right,
Maybe.
we'll see what we
Right
can
now.
I don't have it with me.
What?
I don't.
Could have done a tournament.
I don't bring my games with me like I used to.
What?
All right, is that it then? We
Yes.
tapped out, gents?
Tap out.
That's it. Some physical humor up in here today. All right. Well, again, signedinpodcast.com. That is our website. As always, you can find links to our Twitter, our Facebook, our past episodes, our forums. All the other pseudo radio shows are linked on there.
Find out our likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Email us at comments@signedinpodcast.com. You can ask us what the hell we think we're doing, all that other stuff.
Send us
anything you want.
Send us Insult Ninja attacks.
Insult Ninja ideas.
Voiced by Cookie, that's pretty good. If like Insult Ninja, but Cookie's the voice of the ninja.
Right.
Hell yeah.
If you guys want to work up a treatment for that, maybe we can get an MTV2 show on that. That'd be good. I think they stopped showing videos now too, so they're doing their own content, so we can get on there.
Ashton Kutcher's from around here. I can call him up.
He is. He's a buddy, right?
Yeah, I worked with his brother.
There you go.
I kind of, hung out with his
I'll
sister.
be like, hey, dude, I haven't talked to you in like 10 years and I've forgotten your name, but
his name's Ashton Kutcher.
No, his brother.
It's something Kutcher.
I don't think it is, actually.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It's the Cooch.
All right, and you can find our show on the Zune store or the iTunes store. If you find us on iTunes, we would appreciate.
Cooch. Maybe.
No, don't start that. I'm just about to beg for people to leave us reviews, and now you want us to talk about cooches and
no, we're moving on
and hooch.
We're towards the end of this show.
If you find us on iTunes, we would definitely appreciate to leave a review.
Yes. If you don't, the Insult Ninja will attack you.
There's a bunch on there, but we could always use more, and we haven't had a new one in a long while. So be that special angel.
Feed the monster that
Why haven't you done that?
Why haven't you done it?
Our praise.
Is it because you hate us?
Yeah, or
Angel
babies. Do you think since we already have that many reviews, not to put one on there?
You know what you could do if you hate us? You could leave a review that says how much you hate us.
Yes.
Little known fact, angel babies actually survive on iTunes reviews. So
they do.
If you don't give us iTunes reviews, that angel baby's death is on your shoulders.
Right, and it's been so long since we've had one that who knows how many angel babies
they're
there
all
are
shriveled over there in the
point.
corner.
We don't keep them here.
Just that one.
Oh, okay.
The one he uses.
Next episode?
Next episode.
Speaking of baby
I'm
dead,
looking forward to that.
dead
It's
baby
not gonna be
angels.
this.
Bulletstorm comes out.
Yes.
I'm sure there's dead baby angels in that.
Actually, I'm converting that baby angel into one of the Dead Space babies, just for you, Sean.
So we will definitely have some Bulletstorm to talk about in one form or another.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of stuff. The house party's going on right now for XBLA. So
Right.
Bejeweled Blitz will be out. which I'm a dork for Bejeweled, so I'll probably play that. And Beyond Good and Evil HD, I think, is out between now and the next show, which I'm looking forward to.
They have awesome Avatar stuff for all that stuff. It's cool. Smart.
Avatar Corner's gone. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm just mentioning. I think that's fantastic. They have this awesome like ruby suit. Oh, it's cool.
From what?
Bejeweled has some great stuff. They have this giant like ruby head thing. No, I'm not kidding.
That does not sound awesome.
Oh, they're cool.
It doesn't sound cool.
You should get a bunch of friends to get those and then get in a party with them.
That's what I'm talking about.
People look like they're playing.
Well, now it's cool. Now I'm fucking in. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. Seriously, if we could just all hang out in a party chat and there's like 3 of us standing around with fucking Bejeweled heads,
or our Rascals heads
hold on. But then every once in a while, people drop out and then they'll drop back in, so they're moving around.
Like when a 5th person hits in, everybody falls out.
Yes. We have the best ideas ever. Nice.
Then we'd have to kick people out of our party that don't wear Bejeweled stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Bejeweled gang.
Elites.
It's like gang.
The Bejeweled
That'll be
elite.
our I can't remember what those things are called. Clan.
Yeah.
That'll be our clan, the Bejeweled clan. We just play Bejeweled.
That's all.
And own on people playing Bejeweled.
So next episode, it's the all Bejeweled episode.
We'll see what we can do. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Receiving this transmission. This has been a pseudo radio production. Repeat, this has been a pseudo radio production. Copyright 2011.